Hello. Welcome. Wait, that's not a
Are
very
we
good
live?
start. I think we're live.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Welcome
no.
oh, it's been a long time.
to the Nerdrotic Nooner. That's right. Just here. Everybody needs a nooner. Everybody's done a nooner. It's a nooner somewhere around the world. It's actually noon-ish here.
Yeah.
Central Time Zone. Back home in the free state of Texas.
Yeah.
No, I'll get rid of that. So I was on the road. I don't remember my live stream. Hi, everybody. I don't remember my live stream yesterday. I think I had a good time. Chuck Dixon was on. I don't know if it's back up yet because we got copyright struck, but like, please tune in later. It was very good. What I do remember, Chuck Dixon, comic book fucking legend, was great. And yeah, and Graham Nolan has a book premiering today that we will talk about as well. Joe Frankenstein, another comic book legend. And we're going to get both of those crazy cats on Real BBC together very, very soon. But apologies to Az for playing so many clips yesterday. And hopefully when YouTube is done cutting them out, the Real BBC, which was all-timer, will be back up. Although I was, dude, sleep deprived as hell. I drove from LA at 7:30 in the morning Pacific time to Pecos, Texas in one day.
That's a drive.
That's a little north of Fort Stockton. That's a drive, dude.
That is a drive.
I only had like 3.5 hours left in my drive. We just had to stop, because I didn't want to get in at 4 a.m. It was 5 a.m. So I'm like,
that's why I was worried about you. I called you. I was like, hey,
are
you sleeping? Are you still recharging from that trip? Because that is a
he
drive.
had to call me before the show. No, I was getting a haircut and my beard trimmed because I look like Ted Kaczynski. Yeah. So this is the Nerdrotic Nooner, everybody. My name is Gary Beekler. I come to you from Nerdrotic, and we're going to talk about Lord of the Rings, tons of Lord of the Rings videos. Thank you for watching our video that Garrett worked so hard on that I recorded in a hotel room, and the only reason you didn't see me is because the frames were dropping. So
somewhere going on.
We're like, we can't use any of my footage because I look like a Japanese film. But the last 7 days have been pretty fun. I've talked to some amazing people, aside from the morons I talk to every day, like Garrett and Jeremy. I love you, but no. So we got to talk to Graham Nolan. That was fucking awesome.
That was awesome.
Chuck Dixon, and in between that, we had a little dinner on Sunday night that I totally blew off Nick Recato for. I'm sorry, Nick. But I had to hang out with my nerds. I'm sorry, buddy. Like you're a little too like upper echelon partier for me. Like I'm like, am I going to drive in the rain to Vegas, or am I just going to hang out with Robert Meyer Burnett, Chris Gore, Shane from the Popcast Bros, who does our shirts, by the way. He's mixed tees. He's a good guy. I try not to shout him out too much so he doesn't get in trouble. But and another guy, I noticed, Chris, that some people posted a picture on Instagram, but nobody's done it on Twitter yet. And I'm wondering if I should be the guy.
Yeah. Should you? I don't know. I don't
want to get him in trouble. We'll talk about it on the live stream, but I'm more concerned for him than I am not concerned about me or you. But
I don't care.
Or Robert Meyer Burnett or even Shane. I'm concerned about the person we had dinner with.
I want to know.
He gonna get some shit. He's gonna get some shit. No, it wasn't John Campea. No, it was not John Campea.
That's what I thought for a second. I was thinking John Campea. That's who it is.
You were.
I hunted, Rob. I hunted for Tobey Maguire's dick.
Still want you to come to Vegas, though, John.
He's welcome to come.
Yeah, dude.
The invitation is
Not a
open.
joke.
We will not. No, and it's genuine. It's absolutely genuine. If John Campea wants to come to our meetup, he is absolutely welcome. Chris Gore is going to be there. Robert Meyer Burnett's probably going to be there. That other guy we had dinner with might be there.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Vegas.
Mystery
We got to wait
man.
deeper in the stream so we don't get him, because like I trust you in the chat, by the way. You're all good people. Chris Gore. I've seen The Mandalorian. Have you seen The Mandalorian?
Yes, I have seen the episode you saw, and I did receive a screener of the second episode if you
Access Media Show.
You want to discuss that. But yeah, I know we'll get to it. I think the big thing we're all feeling is apathy.
Yep.
That's sort of where I've landed. So there we are. I'm sure we'll get into it.
Oh, we'll get into it. And another thing you saw that I'm going to tease it, you said was really effing good and not woke.
Yes.
And I'm super excited about
yes.
it. I don't get excited about too much. I'm excited about this one.
All right. Well, let me know. Let me know, Gary, if you want me to spill the tea.
I will have you spill the tea. Mandalorian spoilers. I thought it was awful, but we'll get into it. But
Disney
first,
Star Wars.
I just called this man a moron, but it's like he's like the little brother I never had. I love this guy. Quarter Black Garrett, what's up, brother?
Hey, I thought you were going to X-Ray Girl. I thought you were going to mix it up. Just tee me up.
She is like the little Simulu I've never had.
Oh,
oh no!
Stock footage all the time.
A full Asian he's never had.
That's right.
Hey Gary, it's great. It is great to be here. I can't wait to hear about Mandalorian. It's so exciting. I completely forgot that it came out. I was not following it at all.
You're watching what? Oh,
like,
the Mandalorian.
wow.
Because I've just finished watching it before the show. So on my phone.
So,
that's how deeply passionate I felt about it.
Yeah. Somebody that has spent a lot of time in the Star Wars world, reading a lot of the extended universe stuff in Star Wars, and now I can't even muster up a care about a show that's supposed to be the best Star Wars content out there that Disney put out. So, yay!
It is. It's as Ryan pointed out.
This is a relic.
His video yesterday. Our good friend Ryan Keel.
That's how I knew the show came out was Ryan.
Yeah.
I saw his tweet and he was like, "It's coming out in 2 days," and hype. And I was like, "Oh yeah, it is coming out in 2 days."
Launched Disney Plus. So I watched. I just kept a quick eye on Echo Base Network. Good guys, we love them. We love them. The coach from Echo Base. Wait, I need to drink something to do a coach impression. This is Echo Base Network, and this is a coach. I just wanted to say I gave Mandalorian a 7 out of 10. That's right. Okay. No, they're good guys. We love Echo Base Network. Nicholas Glenn.
Yeah.
Been watching my channel forever. And then I watched Star Wars Theory, and I noticed his crowd was much smaller than the last time he watched Mando.
Really?
It was in the 7,000 and 8,000. Wasn't quite there. Wasn't quite there. And Star Wars Theory, no problem with that guy at all. He does his thing. He has fun, and I think channels like his are good. Are good things to have. Yeah. But that's my gauge. And I was gonna stay up to watch it. Then I realized, because Disney Plus is so smart, they premiere their stuff at like 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, I'll just watch Picard season 3 again.
Yeah,
and it was good.
I don't understand that release schedule. Like, one, I agree with you. Should be weekly, because that builds up hype. You get people talking about it. Also, what is up with the date? Like, the time is in the middle of the night.
It's stupid.
Who are you trying to
Paramount,
get?
at least, and even Amazon with their crap Rings of Power. At least, that was midnight. That was done. But on their first episode, they did it at 9.
Yeah,
because they wanted to avoid releasing it in America on the anniversary of Professor Tolkien's death. It wasn't for maximum viewage or anything. They just wanted to avoid they still released it on the anniversary of his death in his home country because they suck. But we'll get to that later. Yeah, it's dumb. It's dumb. It should be released at 5:30 p.m. Pacific or 6 p.m. Pacific, like HBO does.
Yeah,
like HBO didn't change a thing. And, I give a crap about The Last of Us, but like a lot of people are talking about that show. That show trends every week. We all know where it's trending too. Abby Smash, and that's going to be funny. But and on a lot of levels. Yeah. At one level, I'm going to be kind of rooting for Abby because it's Pedro Pascal. And the other one, I can't wait to just see the destruction because I want to be a Lord of Chaos. But that being said, it helps with House of the Dragon. It helps with their other shows too, because they release it at the same time. It's not just being weekly. You got to release it at a decent hour. For some reason, they're like, hey, guys, I got this great idea, Chris Gore. I'm a streaming executive. Let's release our flagship show at the time where the least amount of people will watch it. What do you think about that?
You mean
That's
That's a
great
good idea.
marketing, right?
or
Yeah.
3 a.m. On the East Coast? It's a stupid strategy. I don't know why they continue with that. What a waste.
They're dumb.
No way.
But as we heard at our mystery dinner, Hollywood's out of money. So, by the way, Hollywood is out of money, folks. So look for a lot, and I mean a lot, of cancellations over the next year, and a lot of projects that will be quietly delayed and then shelved for eternity. You will see that a lot.
Yeah. I think we saw it with WB canceling the Batgirl movie.
Oh, that's just the beginning.
And that was just the beginning, the early stages of it. And everybody's like, what's going on? This doesn't happen. This is crazy. It's going to happen a whole lot more.
Yeah, chat's all yay.
Yay.
Exude girl. Hello.
Hello. I also didn't know that Mandalorian wasn't coming out, but I do love Baby Yoda. Okay, they cater to me, and I like him.
She voted for Justin Trudeau. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's had to be done.
I also want to point out that Gary's beard has finally made a reappearance.
Oh.
No one has noticed.
Oh, wow. I thought it was a skirt.
I thought it was a skirt as well. It was like
he became
Well,
Snorlax midway through a stream, but I will say, I'm gonna bring up Hogwarts Legacy. I'm doing my evil run.
Mhm.
I have to say, the babies that come from the animals that you breed, way cuter than Baby Yoda.
There you
Also
go.
because it's Hogwarts Legacy.
There's always a cuter baby.
Yep.
There's always a cuter baby. Baby Yoda's worn off. I mean,
but he's still around.
At least they grew Groot back up, to like a kind of a bad looking guy in a costume now. But yeah, at least Baby Groot grew up, and then they had the Baby Yoda. See, it's an easy character to manipulate your audience with because the character's cute and it doesn't say anything, so you project a personality onto that. So that's why silent characters are like, it's why people connect with them a lot. They're endearing because we project our own personality in there. So it's our own interpretation. It's kind of genius, but it's nothing. It's junk food. It's
a gimmick.
A gimmick. And that's what this show is. Video game cutscenes. It like the first episode, nothing freaking happens. He gets put on 2 different missions. I felt like I was at the first part of The Witcher, except not as good, like really not as good, and
There's
no Bobs.
Yennefer.
There's no.
Could you please deliver this letter for
Bobs. Me? But there's like, get this part for IG-11 because we want to get him back, and that was before. You have to bathe in the below the mines of Mandalore, which is totally destroyed, but it's not. But it's totally destroyed, but it's not. I'm totally going to go there. If I go there, will I get redeemed? This is the way. After a long, felt like 5-minute dramatic pause. The most exciting scene was reenacting that poor child getting abducted by an alligator at Disney World. Except this time it got an adult and not a real life child. Thought it was in poor taste. Sorry, Disneyland, but that's the first thing I thought of when I saw a giant prehistoric alligator coming after a kid on a beach. I'm like, Disney World.
Like, oh yeah,
shit.
Place dreams are made of.
Why are you doing your ceremony on a beach where there's giant prehistoric alligators coming? I don't understand it. The Mandalorians are retarded, okay? They're retarded.
The writers are retarded.
Oh,
I think that's what it is.
It's Jon Favreau.
Oh, I thought he was going to save Star Wars, though. Wasn't
Jon Favreau? He's going to save Star Wars by putting it right directly into the sequel trilogies.
Ah, great. Fantastic.
Yeah. So I don't know. Chris can tell us about the second episode later. So yeah, I just watched the first episode and it was just like task, go somewhere, horrible, slow, like not good cutscene. There's some good cutscene video dialogue. Okay, there is. But it's supposed to be a little better in a TV show where you're not playing a game. It's understandable in a game because you're going to be part of it. And you understand it's kind of an AI putting together words. This was written, probably by an AI that was put together a bunch of words based on an algorithm, and that's what it felt like.
I feel like if they used AI, it would be better. It probably would have been.
It probably would have been, but nothing happened. Nothing happened at the end. But Baby Yoda was really cute.
Oh,
was adorable. He was just widow baby Yoda doing a widow baby Yoda things.
It's like season 2. They were like, we got to get Baby Yoda out because we're going back to Mandalorian, do some action and stuff. And then some executive was like, no, we can't get rid of Baby Yoda. Bring him back.
Our merch.
So they brought him back in a show that wasn't Mandalorian, just so they could start season 3 with Baby Yoda again.
Chris, would it have helped if they put both episodes out?
Yes, it definitely would have helped. The second episode is better, but I would say you said that the show was awful at the beginning, Gary. I would add that it was worse than that. It was unremarkable.
Yeah,
that's really
well,
where
they had a girl. It starts with a girl boss, so you know it's a Disney product immediately.
Right. It was just unremarkable, that opening scene with that kid and the giant alligator monster. All I thought to myself was, what producer's son is this? Because
I know. I'm like, it can't be Din Djarin or whatever, Djarin or whatever his fucking name is, because his eye color didn't match. And
right.
Yeah. The only thing you think of when you see a kid like that is get him the hell out of Hollywood now if you love your children.
Yeah, run.
Well, not just that. Sorry. It's got to be someone related to the show. So it's like Jon Favreau decided to put his son.
Yeah, his nephew.
Fun trivia fact, because I thought the kid, when he opened his mouth with the sort of lispy way he was talking, yes, I will accept the Mandalorian. I mean, like, and look, I feel bad. He just was maybe not coached well on acting, which indicates to me that he is somehow related to someone on the show. Kathleen Kennedy's nephew, whatever. It just was like, this is your opening performance from
like Baby Leia.
No, and the whole thing starts with girl boss forging a new helmet, and it's like he's hitting it like this. She's all she's forging, and then it's like cute little boy helmet, and then she's going never take it off. It's like what about when his head gets too big? Like you got to put the exception. You could never take your helmet off unless you're eating alone or you're alone or when you're because like. You just said never take your helmet off ever.
You got to clean it at least. You got to spray some Lysol in there.
They're dumb. The Mandalorians are dumb.
Well, Gary, my brain was going to weird places.
And it was a plastic helmet. You're right. See, sorry. It was obviously a plastic helmet, dude.
Right.
She's all forging it.
But obviously, like I'm watching the show. It's got its rules, whatever. But I was so bored with the unremarkable nature of everything transpiring, and you nailed it. It's a video game with tasks, complete task. This is check your mission. You know, here's the hub. Here's you're gonna gain XP if you do this task. It just felt so video game in terms of this happens, then this happens, then you need this, and then this happens. But I started thinking about that, like, how does Mando take off his helmet? He has a perfectly coiffed mustache and a supercuts haircut. Like literally, like how
he should have hat hair.
Yeah,
like
beard
just all over the place.
I was
or shaved head or something. I mean, like, if you're wearing a helmet all the time, you don't want hair.
Oh yeah,
you just flat out don't want hair. It's gonna be a problem.
Probably has acne.
It just made me.
There's gonna be some big old head zits up there.
I was just overthinking everything because there was time in my brain to like, well,
right.
I guess this is happening, but why do they do this or why this or why that?
Yeah, you can excuse a lot of like stuff like that, a lot of bad things or plot holes. Even if a story is engrossing and it pulls you in, and you're thinking, "Oh, this is adventure," and what's going to happen next? But if it's something that is so boring, you start going, "Oh, what is that tape on the wall over there? Like I can see the edges. There's somebody with a watch. I see that. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You're like."
No, but you notice stuff.
That happened in like Game of Thrones.
That happened in Game of Thrones, and like you'll see like the boom mic in a fucking mirror and stuff like that. Like stuff happens. Or the guy with the jeans from Mandalorian.
Yeah, from Mandalorian.
Yeah, and these productions. Disney's putting insane money into these things, like insane. So and a freaking IKEA chair, right, Chris?
Yeah. Oh my God.
Said that in the chat.
IKEA chairs on that shuttle. I'll never forget that.
Yeah, when it moved.
I'll never forget it. I get very angry if it's brought up.
You should.
Oh man,
you should. So not exactly hitting it out of the park after like it's been 2 years since Mandalorian season 2, and they fired Gina Carano. Like the triumphant moment, the first real triumphant moment they've had since announcing Star Wars. Disney Star Wars had with their fake dead-eyed Luke coming out, and you know, it didn't move me at all, but I recognize it moved the fandom, and I understand why. The fandom had been so beaten down. Like, to give them a good moment, I'm like, let them enjoy the moment, let them have fun.
Still had Baby Yoda.
Totally. Seeing reactions, that's what fandom's supposed to be, like little reaction videos, the genuine ones, not those fake ass ones. But and you can tell the difference. But like, that's cool. Like, I have no problem with that. So I didn't want to shit on any of that. But like, you know, after they fired Gina Carano, and still, like, if you look at the story itself, this is taking place in between the sequel trilogies and Return of the Jedi. So it's a sequel to another sequel that serves as a prequel to some more sequels.
In-betweequel.
It's an in-betweequel. It's a tweakle. We'll just call it a tweakle because it's made by a tweaker.
I like that.
And it, you know, in comparison, like, if you want to, like, I think they need to, like, if to save Star Wars, which cannot be done. You've done way too much damage. Same with Star Trek. Like, it can't be done. But if you want to do something redeeming, you move it forward. You got to move it forward. Jump 100 years or whatever. And I think they're probably going to do that with Dave Filoni's imaginary girlfriend Ahsoka and Baby Yoda. I kind of believe that rumor, but I just could care less. Like, if they announce any Star Wars, even if it's a like the no-brainer would be a Darth Vader movie, which is still another prequel. I wouldn't care. I just wouldn't care.
I know it would be really bad, so I'm not going to watch it. But I know it would bring people back. It would bring people back.
If you do care and you like it, that's cool too. I don't care. I don't care about that. I'm not going to tell you what to enjoy, what not to enjoy, and if it's your thing. But yeah, I gave it a shot, and it's same old Mando. It's like it's a live action cartoon or video game cutscene, whatever you want. I think more video game cutscene is more accurate. Description.
That's how it's feeling with the void or the volume that they're using. Everything feels very samey, and I like the aspect that they can get the lighting right and this stuff for the actors to react to. That's cool. But it ends up making the whole series feel empty. It's like they're in this little, it's like a holodeck almost. There's like things are too distant for them to touch. It's like an empty space. You could always tell that they're in a very, like the new Creed movie that's coming out, Creed 3. I watched the trailer and they're in the ring and it feels like a volume. It feels like it's just the two of them in a ring, and there's a volume outside of it.
Yeah, it didn't look
just something not like.
I think it might be filming during COVID. Is Hollywood dropping? No, this SAG-AFTRA did not drop their COVID policies.
Really,
which is insane. And you can see it in the movie. You could see it in Ant-Man. You could see like they're digitizing other people who are clearly not in the room together.
They're distant.
Yeah, it's weird.
There was that Meet the Parents remake where they kissed at the end of the movie, and it was like the climax of the movie, and they didn't actually kiss. It was like CGI'd because they weren't allowed to kiss because
the Netflix movie with Eddie Murphy. Yeah, it was a CGI kiss.
Between it was like so noticeable
between a black woman and a white guy.
It was like
that is so funny on so many levels. You don't even look at extra. No, I'm okay. So the whole thing was like a young Jewish boy meets black woman, and it's like Romeo and Juliet, except not, and completely modern and Californian. And we're like, it is purely Californian. And yeah, they CG'd the kiss at the end.
Yeah,
the
that's the quality
So we've gone from Captain Kirk macking on Uhura in real life on film in 1966.
Wait, that happens in real life?
To a CG kiss. Oh, did I just spoil Star Trek for you?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay, X-Ray Girl, it's one of the most historic moments in television in America.
I'm going to try to forget it.
It gets written in history books, not television history books, actual history books. Yeah. So
back when they were actually making strides and progress, when they were doing the first actual thing, instead of like the first black female lesbian transgender child, like no, it was an actual progression on television. Never did it before. It was very shocking to a lot of people, but it was necessary.
First.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually historic.
Real groundbreaking stuff. And now we've broke new ground back to segregation because we CG'd an interracial kiss at the end of a movie. For
Hollywood's
COVID.
silly. You guys
That
gotta
seems
stop.
racist.
It certainly does. Could you pull up the article, Garrett, of Jennifer Salke's Cope? Because this was just so good.
Bring it up.
This was my favorite headline of yesterday. We have some doozies today, by the way. I have some say. I trained my phone to just look for shit I like, and it does a great job with it. So every morning, it aggregates what I'm interested in, which is, I mean, probably scary on every level. But yeah, so I get up, and it just feeds me Rings of Power articles or Forbidden Frontier stuff. It's just an entire feed of it, and it's brilliant. So the headlines I got today are, those are some nice photos from the road. From Variety, The Mandalorian season 3 probably won't make any sense unless you've watched Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah.
And Ant-Man and Wasp Quantumania writers surprised by terrible reviews. I was in a low spot and really sad about it. They're still happening, dude. Did you get over it like really fast?
Better not go on the internet.
From Doctor Who, Doctor Who's Timeless Children never retconned the Doctor's origin from CBR. Oh, we'll get to all those.
They're trying to really
They're just
step it
making
in
they're
there
just
in
saying
history.
things now. They're just saying things now that just are not true. Right?
Just straight up lies.
Because they can. Amazon studio boss Jennifer Salke completely and totally unfazed by Warner Brothers' new Lord of the Rings movies. We have enough fan love to sustain.
Okay, there.
Okay. Keep spending your money. All right.
Oh, that is just BS. Looks like Middle Earth is big enough for everybody. At least that's how Amazon Studios head Jennifer Salke feels about Warner Brothers making competing projects based on J.R.R. Tolkien's The Lord of the Rings, which in of itself proves that The Rings of Power is a massive failure. Now, aside from Amazon completely lying, and in our last video, we showed you the biggest lie was they said they were watched by 100 million people. Now, that many people did not watch The Boys, but somehow they finished behind The Boys in the ratings. How does that work exactly, Chris Gore?
I have no clue.
I even put an Asian. I put X-Ray Girl on the math on that, and she couldn't come because she said it doesn't make sense.
I just never trust any numbers that come from the source telling you the numbers.
Right?
You know,
Absolutely.
it's just, yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
Crap. I got some really cool things in my PO box. I'll bring them up later. But I just remembered I forgot that. Now we're gonna hear some news shortly, Chris Gore, from Disney Plus announcing that The Mandalorian will be a record of some kind,
Yes.
right? Like we will get it within the next 24 to 48 hours. Source Disney Plus. The most watched premiere since the last premiere of a Disney Plus show that premiered in March of 2023 or something
81
like
million
that. Yeah.
votes. That's right.
81 million votes, baby. Lock it down. And to question that, you are a misinformationist person. I just made that word up. Sorry. You're an
Disney's just
insurrectionist. You're
fortifying-
an erectionist.
Numbers.
Okay, maybe not an erectionist.
Okay.
Back to this. Salke, who premiered Rings of Power on the anniversary of Professor Tolkien's death. Never going to let that biatch forget that. Who has held the top content job at Amazon since 2018, where she completely usurped the actual person who obtained these rights and didn't want to make a woke Lord of the Rings. Just saying.
Watch a video on
Walked a Monday red carpet for the premiere of Michael B. Jordan's Creed 3, where she spoke with Variety about last Friday night's news, that Warner Brothers had secured film rights to some of Tolkien's books. Some. We don't know how many, by the way. if they procured the Silmarillion, that's saying something.
Yeah, it is.
And why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? One of Salki's defining moves at Amazon was to secure television rights to the same literary works. That is a lie. Jennifer Salke did not obtain the rights for the Rings of Power. She was not with them when they retained the rights. The rights were retained by Roy Price and Sharon Talia Guido, who also obtained the rights to Conan, where they were going to produce a series with Miguel Sapochnik and Ryan Condell, who are currently working on House of the Dragon. Midnight's Edge has 2 or 3 videos on that I recommend you watch that go into detail on that. I also mention it briefly in one of my videos.
That could have been so
cool. It was canceled by Jennifer Salke for being too toxically masculine. So they went with by the way, she did not procure the Wheel of Time rights either, or the Boys rights, or Invincible.
So she's not done anything except make a really, really bad show, Rings of Power, which I will give it to her. She didn't want to make anything masculine, not an ounce of masculinity in that show whatsoever.
No. And by the way, chat, I am of the belief that don't adapt Tolkien at all. Just don't. If I was Warner Brothers, I would just merchandise the hell out of what we've done. And there is supposedly a longer version of the movies out there that has like a Theoden funeral. And I would just say release those on the 25th anniversary, since your Toby Emmerich is a freaking retard and didn't release, like, they didn't do a mass release like Star Wars did on the 20th anniversary, which they should have done, because these films. How dumb is that, Chris?
It makes no sense. Look how well the Star Wars special editions did. Look how well those did. They were huge. I don't know why they wouldn't have done that. That doesn't make any sense. Plus the fact that they're bringing back so many films are performing well that are older movies. This is how starved people are for decent entertainment. I'll go see a film that I already own in multiple formats in a theater to experience it in the theater. I saw Dark Crystal, Conan the Barbarian, a whole bunch of stuff came out. Star Trek the Motion Picture, Star Trek II The Wrath of Khan. This year has been like a goldmine of going to see classic films in the theater. Why you would leave that money on the table is ridiculous. So
and it's like the screenings you had of Lord of the Rings were the theaters doing it. It wasn't Warner Brothers.
Right. It was independent theaters. Like there's one near me called the Frida Cinema in Santa Ana, California, between here and Anaheim. And I love that theater. They showed Dune 1984, among other stuff. They're showing Akira coming up. There's a lot of great stuff that theater shows, but these are like, I just don't understand why they're not doing that. Why it's like, this burden is upon, these indie theaters that are like, we know what people want to see. We'll just put it in the theater so you have the option. So whatever.
No, Warner Brothers can release 25th anniversary editions now and then do a full-on marathon along with it, like when you drop Return of the King on its 25th anniversary, then you do the marathon.
Yes.
And you just make money. The theaters make money, and you have to put it's just some promo, you just put some marketing behind it and it will freaking do well.
Yeah.
It will do well.
They did that with Star Wars too.
The Star Wars 20th anniversaries were number one films. Number one films. Yes. I'll never forget Howard Stern bitching for months that Empire beat Private Parts, which was hilarious. And yeah.
That's my earliest memory of going to a movie theater was the re-releases.
No, I remember going to the first one and I was standing in a freaking giant line and I'm like, I can't believe there's a giant line for this. I can't believe it. And everybody was dressed up and it was freaking cool. It was
like
great.
20 years after the last movie came out. So that's how much the hype was. If they released a new Star Wars movie now, it would not be the same.
Nope.
It wouldn't even come close to the re-releases in the 90s.
But I mean, the only thing being talked about the Rings of Power now is how bad it was. Nobody's breaking down theories. Nobody's talking about the ins and outs of the show. And they announced they're going to be a little late. Nobody cared, unlike House of the Dragon, which announced it's not going to be out till 2024, which I think is a giant mistake. And people were sad. People were like, damn, one of Sulky's, her defining moment is not actually her defining moment. They are variety is erroneous or knowingly pushing a lie. You decide. Okay. I'm sure the Jennifer Salke, who has got a background in public relations, that's where she comes from. She comes from marketing and public relations. I'm sure she fed them that information. And oops, I didn't mean, I took over the project. It was a little mistake. It was a mistake by one of my assistants. No, this helps push a lie. That I will be here to call out every single time. Premiered in 2022 with a big global marketing push and critical acclaim. Was there a lot of critical acclaim? I notice there's no hyperlink to that. Of Rings of Power.
That's news to me.
That is news to me.
Yeah.
Need a citation on that.
I need a little receipt. Yeah. As well as a reported budget of $450 million for the first batch of episodes. That's not counting how much it costs to secure the rights and costs overruns. So it's a $1 billion series. Previously, Warner Brothers pushed out 2 massively successful film franchises with Artur, Peter Jackson. Beginning in 2001, those films grossed over $5 billion, by the way, as criticized, rightly so, that the Hobbits are, although I still enjoy them because I'm just a fucking nerd. Those movies did make money. They did well. Not, relatively not as well, adjusted for inflation as Lord of the Rings, but they're a prequel. See, that's the problem, is it was anticlimactic anyway, because we knew where it was going to go. Those films grossed over $5 billion at the worldwide box office and brought home a Best Picture Oscar for one of the entries. It should have been for every
single one.
Ian McKellen not getting an Oscar for Best Supporting Actor is a crime. Sean Astin should have won.
Yep.
For Return of the King. Like, he was brilliant in it. Yeah, it's just sad. But who cares?
Andy Serkis?
Yes.
Andy Serkis' performance. Wow.
And God, what's his name? The guy who plays Theoden. Bernard
Hill.
Hill should have won too. He was freaking great.
He was phenomenal.
Great in Two Towers. Killed it. We'll see. Salke told Variety when asked about how much Lord of the Rings would be too much for market. We love our original series. We're extremely proud of it and investing long term. So we definitely think there's enough fan love to sustain ours for a long time. Of course, she's going to have to say that.
Okay.
So here's what's going to happen in season 2. Clip it, lock it down, folks. Bet it in Vegas. It will be a fart in the wind. It will be a fucking fart in the wind. They will lose 50% of their audience on the first episode, and then regularly 15 to 30% beyond that till it's down to next to nothing, because that's the same thing that happened to Star Trek Discovery, by the way. That will never get reported. That will never get reported. They like, next to nobody was watching Star Trek. Like, there's a 5th season of Star Trek Discovery coming out.
I didn't know that.
It's going to average like 80,000 people watching.
It is embarrassing.
Oh, the budgets have been massively slashed for Star Trek shows. Massively. Because like the first one, Picard season 1 was about 10 mil an episode. Star Trek Discovery season 1 was about 10 mil an episode. But yeah, fart in the wind. Nobody's going to give a fuck. Like, I don't think there'll even be enough anger to maybe at the very beginning. But you could see during Rings of Power, as it aired, like the viewership was dropping off because like people who saw it went, oh, this is shit, I'm done. And then the reviewers stuck with it. But by the end, the only thing we were waiting for is to find out that Halbrand was Sauron, like we knew all along. And we got a freaking origin of a volcano, ladies and gentlemen. We got an origin, and then they showed us the forging of the rings.
The origin of the volcano, I love how it's
origin
just
of Mordor.
They just showed like a headline, like a little typeface that just told you what it was. That was the reveal. I laughed when I saw it.
Oh man,
it was so good. And it was like a tweaker. It was a tweaker with a sword. Was the guy who started Mordor. Good for him.
Ridiculous.
The executive pedigree behind these projects is also noteworthy. Last March, Amazon acquired MGM in a deal valued at $8.5 million. MGM's film operation was headed at the time by veteran producer Mike DeLuca and Pamela Abdi. Got to say that slowly. Both executives left MGM shortly after the transaction closed to take a job running Warner Brothers Pictures. The Lord of the Rings news announced by Warner Brothers Discovery CEO David Zaslav on the company's quarterly earnings call last week will be DeLuca and Abdi's first major franchise effort at the no pressure at the new studio home. On the call, Zaslav directly mentioned Amazon CEO Andy Jassy was pushing on the intellectual property with a lot of success. Salke, by the way, absorbed control of MGM's film distribution and marketing operations last November. Now, does MGM still have some say or film distribution rights over The Hobbit after the transaction? Not sure. But Warner Brothers is working with Embracer, who does have those rights. They have the rights. We'll see. Now, don't get excited about Embracer. Okay. They've done some pretty woke terrible things, including like, go hit up our girl Melanie Mack and ask her about what they're going to do with Tomb Raider.
Oh, right. Yeah.
For all the scope and detail lovingly packed into the two trilogies, the vast, complex, and dazzling universe dreamed up by J.R.R. Tolkien remains largely unexplored and should remain that way. Okay. DeLuca and Abdi said upon announcing the new WB film, season 2 of Amazon's The Lord of the Rings of Power does not yet have a release date because it's going to be a long ass time. Thank God for small favors. Okay.
A little bit of a break.
A little bit of a break. Though reports have suggested it will debut sometime in 2023. No, it won't. No, hey, listen, my bank account will love it, but it's just not happening, and I don't want it to happen. We don't need that in successive years. Okay. But what the Rings of Power was, and I mentioned it in the video. It was the turning point. It was the first time a fandom just said, fuck no, we've had enough. Like, vast majority of that fandom. Like, even the channels who thought they would be able to sway, or dare I use the word, influence some people into watching that shit. After they actually watched it, they went, nope, this isn't Tolkien. I'm out. To the point where 2 of those shill channels had to come out and do honest reviews after they already did honest reviews.
That's a weird thing to do.
Seeing that many fans come together for one thing, and it was the Tolkien fandom, was just, it was good. It was a white pill moment. It was better than getting a semi-decent or good Lord of the Rings show. It showed that we still have a say, and that this shit is failing hard, especially when you take something as intricate, as beautiful as Tolkien, and distill it down into basic bitch intersectional feminist Hollywood.
I think that's why the fandom spoke up so much, right? They see these things. It's a beautiful story. It's so intricate, and to see it boiled down to this bull crap gender identities and like the first black female dwarf. No, we don't care. Nobody that read Tolkien cares about your crap like that. And then that's an obvious red flag. And they've seen it because either they are fans of other series that got destroyed, like Star Trek and Star Wars and Doctor Who, and they've seen those franchises get destroyed. So they were like, no, not this time. You've gone too far.
Yep. Well, and it's a lie. Like, they were constantly lying. First, black elf.
Yes.
First, black female dwarf. Nope. Wrong. I don't even know. Like, I couldn't even, I'm not even going to pretend that I've watched every single B fantasy movie or anything. I promise you that has already been done decades ago. And we did show some examples, but there's more. There's got to be tons more. So that they knowingly lie. They don't even try. And I was told that was Jennifer Salke's modus operandi, by the way. She's like a, you know, her self-insert with Morphic Clark is, I guess it's purely accidental, but still a lot of similarities there. Or maybe not. I don't know. That one I don't know. What I do know is this show was supposed to be something else. They were talking to people, Dune fans out there. The guy who wrote the Dune script was being talked to seriously, and they decided they didn't like his pitch. So they went with somebody else because they didn't like the Dune screenwriter of the current Dune film, the one that a lot of people like. Yeah. They didn't like his pitch because it went on too long.
Oh my god! It's
So
Lord of the Rings.
They hired 2 failed film script writers for television, and Chris and I had a dinner with somebody who knows a little bit about television, and kind of reiterated what Russell T Davies said about 2 months ago. Is like, we're getting a lot of fucking inexperienced, woke people who don't love television and don't know anything about it. And, you know, we're seeing that with Disney Plus too. They don't know how to produce television. You need TV people on TV. It's like, I know it sounds like rocket science, but that's part of the problem.
It's a different storytelling medium. It's a completely movies and TV are nowhere close to the way the story is told. You have way more time. You have to break. You have to keep people engaged for that amount of time. It's a completely different format.
Yep.
And to think you can just bring people in. No.
What's that,
also,
Chris?
I think it's the hiring criteria.
Yeah.
It's not based on merit or talent. It's based on
right.
And you know what's funny is, just from that dinner, just to have some things confirmed that I know have been happening.
Yes,
so it's just very interesting. Certain types of people are being hired, but not people that have industry experience.
Certain things Chris has been saying. Chris knows more than I because he's there. He's in the belly of the beast. Good luck. But like certain things we have been saying, and I mean everybody in the sphere, you know, Jeremy Quartering, Jeremy Geeks and Gamers, Ryan, were right. And outside of Ryan, we were all called bigots for it. And I'm just kidding.
I was gonna say, how did Ryan get out of that one?
So that's
he's getting called that for other reasons.
Yeah. No, our RTD is as woke and progressive as they get. And when he's like, no, these were shit. These scripts were shit. And they don't love television. So and we'll get into, like, because we're going to talk about Picard later, and like its place in the culture war or the pop culture war, and how I think it's a massive win and a turning point. And I'll tell you why. Even though it's got that shit stain Alex Kurtzman's name on it, because he's still a shit stain, and he will still produce crappy Star Trek. He will. I promise you. I promise you, coming down the pike, if it continues, it's going to get so much worse. And no, Strange New Worlds is not good. It's not good. I don't like it. I don't think it's good Star Trek. I don't think it's good TV. All right. So that's about it for this article. Get rid of it. I'll read a couple.
Away with you.
Away with you, Jennifer Salke, and your coat. But I think it's funny. You know, I tweeted out translation, "Those sons of bitches." You know, and when she's like, "It's fine. We can all just compete.
Everything's fine here.
Fine. Everything's
Nothing
fine.
To see.
We're all fine.
Move along.
Building's burning.
How are
it's
you?
Fine.
Yeah. How are you? Bass player 2011 iffy for $100. Yeah. Warner Brothers is talking with the Embracer Group along with Jackson. So if anyone has a chance to get the rights to its WB, but in my opinion, they do it. Animation is the only way. If you do the Silmarillion and you do proper no AI animation,
yeah,
I'd watch it. You know, and if they were supervising it I think that's the only way you could do any story from the Silmarillion, in my opinion. The War of Wrath is an example. Yeah, I can't see them making the War of Wrath.
Luthien.
Yeah, because that'd be hard to do, because you're talking about gods fighting. Morgoth versus Fingolfin and Gilead look good with actors and CGI. Yeah, I mean, there is a way to do it, but it would take years of planning, and it sounds like they're fast tracking stuff, and that just doesn't sound good.
No,
that doesn't sound good to me. But thank you, bass player. I agree. I just say leave it alone. But I am here.
Baron and Luthien story. Totally
I am here for the chaos, and I knew this would happen. So Warner Brothers still has distribution rights. That's why Embracer went to them.
Yep.
because Warner Brothers could stop them from selling it to like Sony or Disney or something like that. So why not just work with the person or the entity that's got the distribution rights? Now, I don't know where MGM plays in this. I don't care. It's chaos. And if it's bad for Amazon, see, I am of the belief that Amazon will quietly stop the Rings of Power. I don't think they're going to commit to 5 seasons. I really don't. I think that would be, Jeff Bezos is not one of the richest men in the world for wasting money. And Amazon Prime right now is a vanity project. It doesn't make any money. They could lose it tomorrow and it wouldn't affect Amazon stock at all. It might even make it go up a little bit. But it's going to take them 10 years to finish this series. A decade. So in 2033 or 32, when we get the final season of the Rings of Power, is nobody's going to give a shit. Nobody's going to care. Nobody's going to watch it. So I don't.
I think even if they flip and the next season is great, you're not going to get the same amount of people to show up for the first episode or even that whole season. You're going to have to really fight to get people to come back if it's great, and it's not going to be great.
I rarely share what people say in DMs, but I'm going to just out Mahler right now.
Uh-oh.
He just messaged me. Mando is shite. I agree. All right. Bradley Burnett has gifted 10 Nerdrotic memberships for $50. Hey, Garrett, could you get our friend Graham Nolan's Indiegogo, please? And then
I actually have it already.
You do?
Oh,
you also
you.
have the Rambo one for Drinker and
I can
Chuck
eventually
Dixon.
get that.
We'll
or
do
you
that
want to
one
get that,
in
Garrett?
a little bit, but we'll start
I'll
with we'll give Graham Nolan his due, who was our guest on Friday Night Tights. He stayed for the whole damn show, and he was great, by the way. So we're gonna get him in regular rotation, whether he likes it or not. Yeah, he was freaking great. He hung in there. So he's got a book coming out today. It is Joe Frankenstein Part 1. And if you're a big fan of Batman from the 90s, if you like old school Universal horror, this guy's a legend, by the way, a great artist. He gifted Az and I both pages from Batman in like, these are pages are worth thousands of dollars. And he just like sent it to us. It's like, Jesus, dude. But here, let's hit the trailer real quick. Sound. Turn it up a little. Garrett.
Oh, X-Ray, could you turn it up?
Could you turn it up a little bit? There you go. A suspenseful tale of horror. I even said it right. An adventure. In all the annals of horror. I resisted saying annals. There will never be another. Joe.
And there's so many different monsters, I guess.
Yes, this is all part of one world, right? But you don't. It's not required to read this book, and it's old school.
Yeah, it looks like horror pulp.
Graham's a professional, of decades, so he gets his shit out. So like support Graham Nolan, you get to buy Graham a cigar for $10.
I know.
Double Trouble for
Such a good idea.
$45. You get
Different
Joe Frankenstein
covers.
variant cover for $25. If you and then CGC graded and signed
This
for
is
$100.
$100 is great.
That's a good deal.
Great price.
If you are in the position to support and get something and enjoy it, I'm sure I would appreciate, Graham would appreciate it, and you are supporting the Iron Age, the independent sphere. And again, like, this guy's one of the best, most consistent artists to ever work for DC, in my opinion.
Wow. This
And
looks
he's
cool.
cool.
And he's cool as fuck.
Cool
That
dude.
helps.
Ooh, I want
That
a
really helps.
bookmark.
So thanks, Graham, for coming on, and anything we can do to help. And again, if you're in the position, if you're not, if you could share it, that'd be nice. That'd be, if you feel like you need to.
Look at this page.
That you mean those aren't trans women? Those are women.
Oh, that's what they used to call TNA.
That's a little TNA, little bobs, showing some bobs.
It's all about the bobs.
Graham Nolan likes bobs. Confirmed.
There
needs to be
but not pineapple on pizza.
There's no pineapple on that pizza. I'm gonna have to talk to him about that. I want the pineapple and pizza variant.
You see, because he slapped it on that vampire, and it just got him. Because vampires love pineapples on pizza.
Graham Nolan, and again, we're gonna have him on Real BBC with Chuck Dixon coming.
I can't wait for that, man.
That'll be amazing.
Soon. And we'll get Chuck Dixon on Friday Night Tights too, and everything. And Graham will come back
in the works.
Again. That was a really fun show last Friday, and I really appreciate him staying 6 hours. He did not have to do that.
45 minutes before the show.
I know.
I mean, technically it was start time, but he stuck around. He didn't leave.
Like, my soundboard just didn't want to work with poor Chrissy's
that was
mic.
so weird.
Yeah.
Such a weird issue.
Yeah.
But this is Critical Drinkers.
You know what's cool though? Like, Chrissy was supposed to be on the show, and then we couldn't get her on because if one person's sharing a mic, it just doesn't sound good to you guys. Like, that's
no. So
Chrissy was really cool about it, and she just went shopping with Lila Hart and my wife at a mall. They had a great old time. I like that. I thought it was cool. So this one, 100. You guys helped it hit over 150,000. Your boy Zach made a video. I think you guys, like, it was 5,000 in one day. You guys are freaking incredible. Thank you. So this is the first Kill graphic novel co-written. Story by Sylvester Stallone. You know, that really woke guy, the SJW, according to Jack Posobiec.
Yeah,
Sylvester Stallone, with like one of the most based human beings alive, Chuck Dixon.
Yeah.
So that's going to be, and dude, just epic, covers. Simon Bisley is going to be doing one. Then we got the Critical Drinker doing a book as well. So check out this campaign from your boy Zach Splato Delgado. I emailed Zach last night, told him we talked about his book because he got really excited. He woke up in the morning. He's like, "Whoa, we got some movement." Oh well, thanks to you guys. So hail Chuck Dixon, Critical Drinker. We love him. He was just in Atlanta. Hopefully you got to go see him. That'd be cool. I hope to meet him someday. So yeah, this is these are all prequels. I know to Rambo. To Rambo, something Sylvester Stallone does have the rights to. He does not have the rights to Rocky, which is very sad.
That is tragic because that's his story, man.
He's pretty pissed about. Well, he's not going to be in Creed 3.
Yeah,
yeah,
and it's not looking like it's not tracking very well.
Have you seen that, Chris?
I've had opportunities to see it. I have not seen it. I will see it on Thursday.
You are
with everybody
racist.
else. But I've heard, I've heard it's good. I haven't heard great, but
you did see another sequel that's freaking awesome.
Yes, I did. I will just briefly tell you the John Wick 4. We're far enough in the show where I can confidently say it's fucking amazing.
Yeah,
it's John Wick 4, and I'm shocked because, first of all, zero wokeness anything about it. It's the best action of any John Wick movie, which is saying something considering John Wick kind of set a new standard for action. So I mean, this being the fourth one, my expectations were kind of low. It's amazing. It's just so I mean, best action of any John Wick movie. Insanely cool, like very simple plot. They just sort of set it at the beginning, very simple. You know where it's all leading. Bill Skarsgård is great as the villain, the main villain. He was really good in that movie.
He's
Barbarian.
a good actor.
He's a really good actor. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those Skarsgårds, man.
Yeah. What's up? There's
There's a lot of extra.
Talented.
Really good. I don't want to say much more except it's I cannot wait to see it again. Here's the shocker. The movie is almost 3 hours long and it didn't feel like it at all. It just
that's
blazes
good.
by.
I can't wait. I cannot wait.
Yeah. So God, yeah.
Okay, so where does it rank in the John rank your John Wick films?
Well, it's hard to top the first one just because of the story,
Yeah.
his wife, and all that. So it's the first one, and then number four. Number four is like, and it might even be like even with the first one because it deals with some of the. You'll see some things, that connect to the first one, but it's and also it has like you got to stick around to the end credits. People wouldn't leave the theater. Like it was crazy the way it ends. But I can't say anything about it because it's a huge spoiler. But stay to the very end.
Okay, no, that's good. I don't want you to get in trouble. And like, if something's good, we don't want to spoil it.
Dude, it's so good. It's just I don't want to ruin anything. But the actions, like, it's just they thought, well, let's do this, let's do that. They top themselves, and just to the build to the end is just insane. It's awesome. So. Yeah,
that's brilliant to hear. I'm looking for a movie. I was looking forward to it anyway, just because I wanted to see just John Wick action. And I just showed my youngest John Wick for the first time. He's old enough now, and he freaking loved it, man. He's like, wow,
such a good movie.
So good. But the first one has a more of an emotional center. This has less of that. Just this movie's just like, yeah, we're just gonna hit you in the face with the best action you've ever seen, and then they do that. So
we missed the press deadline for CinemaCon.
Yeah.
Should we just buy?
You're kidding.
Yeah. Should we just buy tickets? Are tickets still available, Garrett?
Let me see.
Yeah.
Can I work for Film Threat?
I did apply for press credentials. I haven't gotten confirmation that I was approved.
Okay. Well,
so
we don't have to go. It'd be kind of funny to go there and maybe recruit some people to come to the meetup. It'll be fun.
Yeah.
But I think the meetup's going to be pretty crazy. April 26th.
Yeah.
At Las Vegas.
Book it if you can.
Book it.
Do it.
Book it. It's Friday Night Tights meetup. Chris Gore is going to be there.
And Chrissy's doing a show the next day too.
The next day. So we've got the official meetup on the 26th. Chrissy's doing a stand-up show, maybe two if it sells out, which I think it will. And then we'll do, like, we always do a sub meetup, which is what I mean by sub, not subscriber, but like just a smaller,
an adjacent
less
meetup,
planned thing somewhere else that we just make up on the fly. So keep an eye on that. So if you're staying
bowling or laser tag,
or both,
Chuck E. Cheese.
We did Area 15 last time.
That was fun. That was a lot of fun.
That was a lot of fun.
I want to go still.
I had a massive
we can still
hangover.
go, but I want to do like bowling or something. I love bowling.
Yeah, Vegas has to have like a really cool bowling alley. It's got to be
all
all decked out place.
It was a little more difficult than we thought to like rent out a bunch of lanes. So we'll figure it out. We've got more help. We got to plan more stuff. But the D+ Peter. Oh, by the way, Disney hit us for the trailer on Real BBC. They never do that.
I was watching live when it happened, and it was hilarious. You guys were watching the sort of talking about fiber and cereal. And then and you froze a couple times. I don't know what was wrong with your internet, but then it just went to the little, taken down for copyright. It was crazy.
Yeah, there should be nothing wrong with my internet. So it's got to be the computer or Chrome or whatever, because I've got fiber. Like,
there should be,
and not the kind you eat. I got fiber internet. Like, there should never ever be a problem, but there was.
Gary is regular. All right,
I am regular as fuck. Okay, for a guy my age, we'll just leave it at that. We'll leave it at that. I'm not ready to put the picture up yet, but I will. What the hell? Sorry, something hit my window. which is covered up. So it must have been a bird.
Oh no!
Oops.
Uh-oh.
Just slammed right into my window. What else is going on in the world? Hang on. What did I do
Oh.
with that picture? Damn it. Oh, I put it in the meetup. I just want to get it ready to show
Have you
later.
plugged in your PC?
I have plugged in my PC, lady.
Yay.
It's not going right now.
It's not on.
Oh, I can't remember where I put this up on Twitter the other day. Hang on. I'm going to share it because I didn't notice it until sometimes I watch my videos later just in case I'm like, God, I hope I didn't miss anything but yeah. I just noticed this.
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit.
I can't believe we missed that.
Oh no!
I was like, how did I miss that? Oh no.
Somebody should Photoshop that feather a lot smaller. It needs to be more
Right?
accurate.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm 12. I don't care. Christian,
What of it?
What of it? That's right. Okay. Sorry, I'm
getting ready
inviting
to
a
show
couple
something?
people on because they want to talk about Mando. So hang on. Yes.
I.
Yes.
Okay.
So could you
Can I
send-
play the PC meta PC then in the meantime?
Yeah, play the meta PC thing right now.
Hit
I
it.
should have played it in the starting. My bad.
I don't know where it is. Garrett.
Oh, I got it.
Hold on. I got it.
You got it?
I gotta find it. Meta PCs.
I got it.
Oh, we both hit it at the same time.
Well,
Yeah.
look who showed up.
Look at that.
Well.
It's like magic.
How did that happen?
Meta brought
Look,
him
if you
in.
do an ad for a computer or whatever, that just summons me, maybe. I don't know.
Does.
Hello, everyone. How you doing?
What's
No.
up, Mahler?
Hey,
Hello.
what's going on?
Oh, having a blast, spending my last few days editing Last of Us coverage, and it's like, and what reward do I deserve but to watch the newest episode of The Mandalorian, a show that clearly everybody's very excited about. You guys jumped on it straight away, huh?
Yeah.
And then got right past it, but I knew you wanted to talk about it. So
I mean,
no, I'll talk about it some more, and then I'll talk about Picard afterwards because
oh shit, yeah, Picard's still coming out, huh?
the Picard's still coming out, and it gets better. Wait till episode 5, y'all. Episode 5. Holy shit! Brought tears to my wife's eyes.
And Robert Burnett.
And Robert Meyer Burnett.
Man.
Tears, you say?
Tears, actual human tears. Good episode. 4 ends pretty damn good as well. I think that's the next one. No, you're seeing 3 next, right, guys?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, so they're still setting things up, but you'll see. So Mahler, Chris and I have given our thoughts on Mandalorian. Chris, and once Mahler's done, I want you to talk about episode 2 if you can.
Sure.
Wait, you guys have seen
He's
more
seen
than...
episode. Well, he's
seen
Access
2.
Media.
Wow.
Chris is Access Media.
Yeah. Gary and I are Access Media.
Oh no,
I'm just
you're
one of
Access
them
Media.
normal folk.
You're
I
Access.
pick things up off the ground.
I haven't seen all of Picard. One of us has.
That's true. Hi, Rags.
Hi. Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hey, Rex.
You sound like dialogue for Mandalorian. Hi. Hello.
Hi. Hello.
I am here to send you on your next quest or task. Sorry.
Well,
Wait,
how about instead of that quest/task, we do something different and unnecessary, despite the importance of our original thing?
Right.
I think you're on the wrong microphone.
Oh, it's probably a StreamYard's thing. Let me just swap it.
Sure.
Mhm.
And
He
while
sounds
he's
more
doing
beautiful
that,
than that.
Mahler, what'd you think of Mandalorian?
Well, I think it's just as good as season 1 and 2. That's the controversial opinion I can get out of the way. I'm sorry, guys. I've always thought it was bad. It's bad.
It was bad. It was always bad.
But it was nice to be reassured of exactly what I was getting in like their first action scene. That was hilarious. Not in just like, why did any of that even happen, but how incompetent everyone is at shooting just a big crocodile. Like, come on.
Since the first season, I have told people that if you like Mandalorians, that this show should be insulting to you.
Yeah.
Because they make Mandalorians the dumbest, most idiotic group of just losers. They don't seem to have any foundational principles or good moral systems. There's nothing cool about them. They don't seem to be good at combat unless the plot needs them to be, but then they could get wiped out by random stormtroopers and the show makes a joke of them. Mm-hmm. There's just nothing interesting about them. Why would you ever think they're cool? What do they do that's cool or interesting? Why would anyone like them?
Their armor look cool, though.
It doesn't.
I know more about ISIS's principles than the Mandalorians.
But like the Mandalorians are like the white males in Hollywood, essentially.
You can't expect to have learned that much in just 2 seasons, Gary. Come on, give him a sec.
Yeah, you've only had two plus 2 episodes. So
oh yeah, I forgot the 2 Mandalorian
plus
episodes that sneaked into fucking Boba Fett. Like,
yeah,
0.5. Yeah.
Tell me about the protagonist Din Djarin, and tell me about the Mandalorians, and it's going to be virtually all negative.
So
what little you do know is bad.
Did you notice that, like, the previously on, they do the whole conversation of, I took off my helmet. You are now apostate and you need to do this. And then they repeated it really differently in the beginning of the show. I was confused by that. I'm like, are they having the conversation again?
I thought like, I think when we were watching it, I was just like, we already did this. Like, we did this scene. It's in Boba Fett. Did they not think people have watched that? Is that the idea?
It's not just the fact that they repeat it. It seems that a lot of this dialogue is repeated without any purpose. Mm-hmm. You don't learn anything. There's no meaningful conversations that happen. No. They don't delve into this concept of, should we be reliant on old traditions? Should we adapt to new ways? Wait, why does Mando, seriously, to anyone who thinks that this show is good or has a good character in it, why does Mando want to become a Mandalorian again proper? Like, why? Why does he give... Can we swear?
Yes.
Why does he give a fuck about being a Mandalorian? Like, why? Just go do your own thing. It seems like a much better life, and the Mandalorians are losers anyway. He seemed to do nothing but disrespect you. Just leave. Why?
We talked about this a couple of times, but it's so funny when she's like, you're not a Mandalorian anymore. And he's like, oh no, can I keep my helmet? And she's like, yeah. Armor? Yeah. Sword? Yeah. Jetpack? Yeah.
Not just
like
sword.
Bounty hunt still? Yeah. Can I have
sword
a
that allows me to lead the Mandalorians as a people?
It's like any sword.
You can just keep it.
It's literally, you're not allowed in my club of the changes nothing. It's just like, okay, can I just call myself a Mandalorian? She's like, you could, but I wouldn't like it if you did that. Like, okay.
And we know they're like the extreme culty version, right? So, but it was, the scene was done different. It was the same, but different. And I was really confused.
It was a different kind of empty as before.
Exactly. It was a different, dirty, empty glass of water. Like, that's what it was.
We still have exposition Lady Blacksmith to just tell him, this is the way. You have to go bathe in the waters of Mandalore. It's like, well, when Muller and I and Fringy and Metal were watching it earlier, there is this. So just to catch everyone up on the plot, because there's like a mild plot sort of in the show, and the show remembers it has a plot. But he took his helmet off, and that means you can't be a Mandalorian. I guess regardless of like context, essentially is what they say. You can't take your helmet off. I don't know, whatever. And so he has to go to this planet to take a bath in a special place, right? But because I guess the Mandalorians don't think that the planet, like they think it's poisoned or he can't go there or whatever, despite like spaceships existing. Like I don't know. He can't redeem himself in the code of the Mandalorians because he can't go to this specific place to take a specific bath. It's not like there's any sort of, oh, well, you have to live the virtues of a thing, or you have to go through a
Mhm.
trial, or you have to go through some sort of a journey to cleanse your soul, or to prove once again that you're. It's none of that. It's like, no, you have to go to a specific place and take a specific bath, and that's it. Because we're a simplistic group of people who are written by a 12-year-old designing their OC Star Wars fanfic.
Just trying to reset the show. So last season he was no longer a Mandalorian. He no longer had Baby Yoda. So they wanted to reset that. So they reset it in Boba Fett.
Yep.
And then they're resetting it in the first episode of this.
Because
what is the point of this show?
They react to it. It feels like they react to marketing data. And by the way, if he goes on this bath, is there like a little Beskar loofah that he wipes his
on a stick,
washes his fucking Mandalorian
whatever
ass
it
with,
is, whatever it is, I'm sure it's dumb.
I've seen the bath. It takes place in episode 2. Let me just say, based on talking about this, all this stuff, and there's a lot of lore, and I've just come to the conclusion that the lore in The Mandalorian is stupid.
You're goddamn right.
You can't take your helmet off. How does Pedro Pascal take his helmet off, and he's got a perfectly coiffed mustache and a supercuts haircut? None of it makes any sense. They show him eating in episode 2, and I'm like, what? So I guess you just sort of lift the bottom of your helmet up, but you're not supposed to ever take it off. I mean, it's the lore is
anyone can lift it up. It's not attached to anything.
Yeah, but
no, it makes a little sound. It goes.
It's the lore is stupid. That's what I've just come to the conclusion. All this made up BS is dumb made up BS. It's not interesting like the history of the Jedi or other lore that's in Star Wars. The lore of the Mandalorian is fucking boring. I fucking hate it.
That's the difference between Star Wars from Disney and actual Star Wars. Actual Star Wars is made up bullshit that's interesting.
Yes.
Well, so Gary, would you have concluded from what you've seen that he's never allowed to take the helmet off?
Never ever allowed to take the helmet off.
Anyone remember season 1, episode 4, where he took it off to eat food?
To eat. Yeah.
You can
in front of a bunch of people.
You can take it off to eat. And so he went when he was in the village in episode 4.
In an open window.
He goes to this open window and watches all these children playing and everything, and he just takes his helmet off. And he almost lets that one chick take it off by the end of episode 4. So he wasn't really that committed to it, I guess. But this gets into this idea of you've had 2+ seasons of this. We'll call him a character for simplicity's sake. This character, and you know virtually nothing about him. Anything that could have been interesting about him was never expanded on. And the first season, some of you might remember that he had an extremely poorly written and inconsistent hatred of droids. And that's just that just got taken care of, I guess. So that's done. I guess he likes being a Mandalorian, but I don't know why. I don't know why he really cares what connection he has to this group and why he wouldn't just leave it. We don't know really anything about his personality. He likes Grogu, I guess. I mean, I don't know any other protagonist to a show who's had this much time when we know so little about them after it.
Right.
But also, wasn't there his beginnings, like he was hidden, he was at this planet, his parents were,
parents were killed by
happened to
droids.
all of that?
Yeah, his parents were killed in the Clone Wars by droids, and he was rescued by Mandalorians. Like, wow, that sounds really interesting. We never hear about it again.
Yeah. Yep.
The more you learn, the worse it gets. I mean, in the first episode of in the first and second episode, I think, of the first season, I forget explicitly when it was, or specifically when it was, and when they were underground in their little holes hiding, because Mandalorians are so cool. They're afraid of the worthless ass stormtroopers maybe finding them even after the Empire's essentially disbanded. That's how cool they are, to the point where there's only one person is allowed to go above ground at one time.
Yep.
And apparently that gets to be Din Djarin specifically, so he could go around the galaxy having fun with his bounty hunting in his ship and flying around, while everybody else has to cower underground, hiding away. The more you learn about the Mandalorians, the worse they seem.
Yeah.
And they're so unappealing.
Make it to where like the New Republic was hunting them down for some reason, for some political reason or whatever. Do something interesting.
Why not just establish they're a new power rising again? Why not?
Yeah.
People are afraid of them. They have really good armor and weapons. Stay away
They're
from
really good, but because they have such a rigid honor system, and we'll rework it so it's not just flat out stupid and counterproductive.
Well, they were supposed to be a foil for the Jedi, right? So like now that we've got one Jedi, they could have been the new, like you guys said, something formidable to be feared. And
they're trying to find Luke's temple. You know, they're like, oh, we can't let the Jedi rise again. We remember what happened last time, so we need to. Like, oh, we need to find out where this Skywalker Jedi temple is, and like destroy it before it gets big, so that we could, rise to power again. That would be like drama. That would be like a story that I could believe, and then that would set up the whole, because they pay lip service to this idea of, well, the Jedi and the Mandalorians fought in the past, and it's like, okay, I guess, sure, all right, so you're not supposed to like this Jedi infant. Like, all right, but I do. And that's kind of just it. It just ends.
Werner Herzog was just in this show at one point. Do you remember
that? He was.
Yeah, for about 5 seconds.
He was literally the most interesting thing in the show before they decided that he just couldn't be a character.
The most interesting the show ever got was this ex-leader of a dying Empire remnant who's talking about, like, we actually brought order to systems and that they fucked everything up. And he delivers it with the Werner Herzog sort of approach. You just sit there like, man, what does this guy get up to? Next time we see him shot in the back or whatever, it's just like, okay.
He got exploded by his own people because reasons that I couldn't explain to you, despite having a pretty intimate knowledge of the show.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, we needed more screen time with little baby Yoda because he's
look, he's using the Force. He's using the Force.
It will never not be one of the biggest possible mistakes that you could have made with this show. Is you have Din Djarin, who's this boring asshole, and he's just out there in the world doing pew pews and whatnot. And then he doesn't really seem to have anything approaching a character, and he doesn't talk a lot. So the natural concept that would arise from that is that, well, we pair him with someone who's talkative, who's charismatic, who wants to really get to know him, who wants to see who's the man underneath the helmet, why is he doing what he's doing, and they have a bond and connection, and they can like communicate with each other using kind of like words and phrases. But no, instead we put him with an infant who can't speak or can't communicate in any way. So we just, all of that's lost. What was an opportunity is not even explored. So now he's just wandering around, kind of basically alone.
Well, they did an arc. Remember, you wouldn't let him play with the little thing, and then he did.
The little knob, yeah.
Exciting.
There you go.
Yeah.
So exciting.
That is very exciting.
Well, the baby makes cute noises. He eats stuff sometimes. He waddles around. It's not good enough for 3 seasons. I don't know.
I don't get it.
I mean, Chris, what happens? What can you talk about from the second episode?
Let's see. So Mando goes.
Do we want spoilers? I got to see what happens.
I don't mind.
I don't mind.
But the drama of watching the plot unfold naturally, I'm not. I've got to.
You don't want that ruined.
I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to go in knowing what happens.
Well,
fuck it.
Well,
anyway,
I'll say this. Hearing you guys talk about your ideas are way better than what this show turns out to be. You should be in the writer's room. Everything that you're discussing just sounds so much better than the, as Gary described earlier, a video game like task, task and boost your XP. That's basically what this show is. This happens, and then this happens, and then this happens.
He never seems to level up, though. He's always level 1.
Well, if anything, he's downgraded. He used to have this really cool ship with like a bed and portable cargo, carbon freezing chambers. And then he picked up a baby, and he keeps it in a pod behind him. And I'm not even going to begin to get into the horrors of what that might entail on a long flight across the galaxy.
Well, just think the worst thing is that like it's so unremarkable that you begin to actually think about some of the logic, like taking one of those old school Naboo fighters across the galaxy. Like, how do you go to the bathroom if it's a long trip? I'm gonna have to get up and go at some point.
Meanwhile, he had a toilet in his old ship. There was a
toilet. He had a closet with all his weapons and gear in it. He had space for, God forbid, other people to come with him or that he could bring back. He is a bounty hunter after all, and if you cannot bring back a bounty in this ship, not to mention it's virtually.
Where do you keep the hyperdrive?
Bring back their head.
Where's the hyperdrive go?
You're thinking about it more deeply than the people who work on the show, which is crazy.
They were just like, oh, remember the prequels, Naboo Starfighter? And then the people will cream their pants when they see that. And I mean, to their credit, they were right. Everyone was, it's amazing. It's the perfect vehicle for Din Djarin.
Yeah, well, it doesn't get better in the second episode. But the basics of it is he goes to Mandalore. I thought, well, why? If it's just there, it's not a big deal.
They act like it's like you can't go there. Like there's some physical barrier preventing you from. At least the Rise of Skywalker tried.
Right. Well, I don't know about that. Let's not go that far.
Hey, there was a red spot where they couldn't fly, but sort of could.
But then got there
Like
anyway.
fly around it, you fucking idiot.
The show acts as if Mandalore
Three-dimensional space
accessed.
exists.
They act like we're not in this super advanced spacefaring civilization where you going from planet to planet is kind of mundane and normal.
Well, I'll say on the second episode that I'm surprised they didn't debut the first and second episode, because the second episode, at least a few things happen. It's better action.
Wow.
It's also, has all the same flaws as the first episode. It's this happens, then this happens, and it's not, it just doesn't, it seems like the stakes are low. It's meaningless and unremarkable. So,
and it's got a big Disney trope at the
Which
end,
one?
right? Like a massive which is like a current year Disney trope.
Right. Yeah, which is Bo-Katan basically saves the day twice. Because Mando's an idiot.
Yay.
Nice. I love that character, Bo-Katan.
She's my favorite.
She was in the cartoon
one.
show that I saw that time, and I like her because I remember what her name is.
Someone in chat said, like, oh, Mando's just a babysitter now. It's like, that's all he's ever been. He's been that throughout
He's
all of the
never-
show.
Since
Like-
episode 1.
You
That's
fool
what he's
who
ever
thought
done.
that this would be about a bounty hunter. You fool. You damn fool. You thought that
dare
this
you.
would be a cool ass show about a ruthless, efficient bounty hunter going across the galaxy, preparing and executing these plans and doing all
Going
this
through
cool
the Star
stuff.
Wars underworld. Yeah, kind of
No,
violent,
it's
kind
about
of a gangster.
It's about an
Dirty
infant.
deals, betrayals.
Chopping
It's
guys'
about a
heads
little-
off with doors.
Little baby.
Yeah.
Dude, what was with that moment where Grief Karga said pirates are no longer welcome here?
They wanted to drink at the school. That's not allowed.
no more pirates in school.
That's what that's in the last election he ran on the platform of I will keep the pirates out of the schools. And the other candidate, he wanted to keep the pirates in the schools. So there was a very lengthy debate on the
conflict.
on the-
Well, at
Pirates
least
need education. That's what will stop them from stealing.
I want to give him a little credit because at least he's not the Lori Lightfoot of his sector. You know what I mean? Doesn't allow crime. Thanks, Gary. You got that joke.
I did. Hey,
She
Chicago
gone now.
said Beetlejuice 3 times again, and she went away.
No.
She had to go.
That's all you had to do. That's how you get rid of Beetlejuice. Same way you summon them. You know.
What a great way to what a great guy he is as well. He personally takes care of any crimes happening.
Yeah,
By
because
himself.
in my town, whenever there's like a mugging or a robbery, we go to the mayor's office, and then the mayor personally goes out with a handgun to the scene of the crime to stop these evildoers from their dastardly law breaking.
He was going to try and take on all of them on his own. Like, he just would have died. That's all
Yeah,
that
Would have
would've
just
happened.
died. There was like 5 of them.
Yeah, and the tasks are he has to go take a bath at Mandalore to get redeemed, but first he needs a droid, and he picks the one droid that blew itself up, IG-88. Then
To
he goes
smithereens.
to smithereens. Then somehow he magically got put back together. Grief Karga, High Chancellor, whatever the hell he is, says there's no way, there's not enough of them. Okay, let's put them back together. Then they go to Babu Frick, who goes, nope, you need to go on another mission to find this special part. And
I'm convinced they write these shows after they play a D&D campaign. They're like, let's play a Star Wars D&D.
D&D more credit. That's actually one of my. That's a good way to explain how these shows are bad. Kind of like how. Have you guys seen the Willow TV show?
Yes.
yeah.
So that's like, so you could see how that's like Zoomer D&D, and it's really shit, right? This is like Star Wars D&D, but really shit.
Yeah.
Where you would think, okay, we have this overarching quest to do, and we can do stuff along the way. So how would we formulate a plan and execute the plan? What funds do we have? What material do we have to work with? Like, that could legitimately be a really cool premise for a show, is watching a group of characters actually do these things, whether it's a heist, whether
Oh,
it's
yeah.
capturing a bounty. Remember bounty hunting? That would be cool if we had bounty hunting. But this show's like the worst version of that. The
Well, we
first
did it with
episode of
It's
the
like they
third,
watched
season one,
Critical
remember?
Role and said, let's start writing our stories like that.
the first episode of this show is I need to go to Mandalore to take a bath so I could be Mandalorian again. And then but actually I need like a bodyguard to come with me because that's what I need, I guess.
Why highlight that it's poisonous and then say you need a bodyguard? It's like bodyguards are going to help you with poison bait. That's
Well,
not going to do much.
I think your suit would.
The suit is plot armor enveloping your soul. So just do that.
Well, nothing can kill him anyway. Like, you know.
He's unstoppable. He could do
You guys
anything he
remember,
wants,
right?
and the armor is the excuse.
They fired like a million shots at him, and it just went. It was like all over his suit. So, oof.
Aziel Yami for $100 says, "Hail to the Fellowship! Check out my friend's book, The False War, by W.C. James. A writer who makes content for the love of storytelling is rare these days." You are correct, sir. To Quarter Black, I miss you on Louder with Crowder, brother.
Aw.
#Mug Club member.
I miss you
You
too.
can just watch him here.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm
he's-
here.
He's quite frankly, he's on here more than he would have been on Crowder because Crowder's not doing anything.
He's not
right now.
even doing anything.
He will. I hope he does. But that's cool. Thank you very much. Aziel, I hope I said your name right, but thank you for the $100. So Bo-Katan saves him twice. Can't wait to see that next week. Oh my God.
Man.
We were like, what's the formula? It's like 2 to 3 action scenes per episode. Mando going to places and just being like, wow, look at this place as he walks through the place. And then there's cameo. He's going to meet up with whoever cameo it is for the episode.
Very cool.
And then, just all these pointless, annoying quests to find things that lead to thing until you get to the last episode where all the cameos come together and defeat some evildoer. It's gonna be like
Avengers.
maybe that pirate frogman. I don't know, but I'm assuming they'll try and do something big by the time they hit the end of this season. Maybe tie it into the bait for whatever next movie they're gonna try.
How many
Still haven't
episodes-
gotten another Star Wars movie. How's
How
that
many
going?
episodes is Mando? Is it 8?
8, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, it just feels like the last 2 seasons where there's like 4 episodes of content that are 30 something minutes long and they're stretching it to nothing. It's like they do not know what they're doing.
Because we were saying how there's like no characters, but I will go back. It's like the most enjoyment people usually, I think, got out of season 1 and 2, most memorable is probably the Bill Burr character. I forget the fucking name of him, but it's because he's like a character. He
has like a personality, and he
It's
sort of
mainly
has
Bill
like a
Burr
backstory that kind
riffing
of
on Star
informs his
Wars.
attitude. Before they ruin it, but for a little while there, we had like a character.
And he's more
We
interesting
had
than like
a
anyone there,
one.
mainly because it's just Bill Burr saying Bill Burr things, like commenting on how stupid everything is. But the funny thing is, like, I think we remember noticing he was different from his season 1 character. Season 2 character is much more fun because they're aiming him to become a good guy.
Yep.
Right? Because Bill Burr is so just fun to like. You don't want him to be a bad guy.
Oh, and there's no Gina. You're right. There's no Gina.
Yeah,
Oh, they had a
Gina.
line for her, Gary. Don't you worry.
Yep.
Where is she? She's like, oh, she's out there doing
Oh,
things.
she got hired by such and such.
She's doing great. She's out there with the special forces, which makes you wonder. It's like, what do you mean by that?
Yeah, right.
Taken away.
Doing what? Taking out pirates? Who cares?
No, we like
it's-
pirates in this show. Okay, pirates. They want to be cool. Get them in.
They're great shots. They're just like
Oh yeah.
the stormtroopers. But I watched it this morning, and I couldn't believe how bad that dialogue was. It was just video cutscene, which it felt AI, Chris. It does. It truly does feel like they've got marketing data, and what Mahler just said, we could have an action scene at this point, but we don't want to do too much. We don't want to do too much. And
Like Chat GPT, give me a script.
yeah.
Oh, Gary, seriously. At the beginning, we were doing predictions. I think Frankie said 2, and I was like 2 to 3 fight scenes. And then by the time we hit the end of it, it was literally 2 to 3. It was a full action scene with the crocodile monster, full action scene in space, and then half an action scene with the little standoff with the blasters. That's like algorithmically the perfect amount of action for a 30-minute episode, probably. And I wouldn't be surprised if that's how it does it in every single episode.
Yeah, but luckily it was all bad. So
I thought it was, it was pretty shit.
Yeah, and it doesn't seem like there's a ton. I could be wrong, but it just doesn't feel like there's a ton of excitement for the show anymore. It's
what
it's
do you
been
get
2
excited
years.
for?
Oh,
You know? But just what's the point? You know, what character are you like, oh yeah, I really like this character. He's so cool, and I can't wait to see what happens on their journey. You know, I can't wait to see how they, you know, their plot resolves. No, there's nothing.
I mean,
What do you
it's
have? What is there to latch onto?
Third season, man. What's going on?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I just keep. I was gonna watch it last night, and I just watched Picard again instead because it's better and it has
that what he
characters I
wears?
give a shit about. What was that?
Is that what he wears? The old man in that show?
The old who?
You said Picardigan.
Oh, hot, funny. Okay, I'm slow. I was slow on the advocate.
That's fine. That's right.
Picard again. Sorry, that was a good joke, and I missed it. My bad. Just completely fucked it up there for you, Rags. Yeah, I just watched it because it has characters I give a shit about in this one particular series, and it's pretty damn good. And I'd rather watch it than Mandalorian. After one episode, I'm like, eh.
Well, hey,
you know.
don't worry, Gary. Gotham Knights is on the way.
Oh my God!
Oh
Thank
my
God.
Gotham Knights.
Hey, Chris just said that John Wick is awesome.
Oh,
Are you sure?
I'm surprised. It's 3 hours and never gets boring. It's great. Very simple plot. Action scenes are the best of the entire series. And
what did you think of John Wick 2 and 3?
I mean, I like them, but I mean, nothing can top the first one. The first one had emotional weight. It had stakes. It had a puppy that dies. That girl.
All right.
There's a puppy that dies.
I did
making
watch
sure.
John Wick.
But four is I would say my second favorite of the series. It's fantastic.
Oh, fantastic. All right.
all right.
I think the problem with the
Very
second
high
and third one
praise.
is that they tried to go too complicated with the story. The first one's very simple.
Yes.
And that's all you kind of need. And it's like a perfectly simple story. Man loves wife, loves dog as well. Dog dies, he goes kills everybody, right?
Yeah.
And then they went, oh, there's more things going on in the second one, and there's even more going on in the third one. So it sounds good that they're kind of paring that back down to a simple story that you can get a lot of action out of.
Yeah.
That was the first one was simple story with great action, and then the second and third they're like, well, what if we had a terrible story with bad
Yeah.
action?
Yeah.
So they did that instead.
That's true.
It was an experiment, okay?
We're gonna experiment with.
What
just
about
doing it,
Halle
but bad.
Berry? Huh?
Yeah, girl John Wick.
Yeah. She's got two dogs.
Jane Wick.
There's none of that in it. There's none of that girl boss energy in John Wick 4. Zero. A little bit, but not in an annoying way. You know.
Just because I'm senile doesn't mean I can't enjoy things. Okay.
So you gotta be careful if he's senile and what is he wrong about everything he said? Is
might be.
Mandalorian
Uh-oh.
actually really
Yeah.
good?
I'm
See
not
how people
denying.
like things.
Hey
senility.
Gary, is Ant-Man actually great then? Because you said it was bad.
Yeah, it could be.
Maybe it is.
Maybe I'm perceiving a completely different world.
There's
I am
no
open to that
senile.
because I'm senile. And
Speaking
burnout.
Ant-Man, I got something to show you.
Okay.
This is Variety.
Ooh.
Look at
Ant-Man
this
dilemma.
number. This is a pretty great. Look at it. 3 down.
What?
The absolute worst.
Damn.
So you know it only made
Start of Phase 5, baby.
it made $1.7 million at the box office yesterday.
Oh yeah. Well, how much money
Insane.
did you make on the box office?
Yeah,
yesterday?
Gary, you senile
Gary.
old man. How much did you make?
Why don't you go back to your porch and eat your
in
tapioca?
Bitcoin? Okay, so I made 3 million Bitcoins. I don't know what a Bitcoin
Nice.
is. So.
Dude, those openings for Black Panther 2 and Doctor Strange 2.
Tapioca's
And then if you
good.
consider the Love and Thunder one was pretty good as well, right? 100 was it 160 or something like that? I don't know. It was still Ant-Man 3. Oh,
Yeah.
look at you. What's happening?
Wow.
Ouch.
Strange.
Can't wait for the Marvels.
Look at that fucking global gross on Avatar 2.
That's
Jeez.
insane.
Isn't that
2.2.
sad? Doesn't it just isn't
Broke
just-
it. Yeah.
Well, I guess we gotta
Ruining
fund
the
the
scale.
technology of the future. So I don't know.
Yeah, somehow.
That's I mean, oh
Dude.
well.
Yeah.
If we get a terrible movie every 10 years so that movies can look good, you got to pay the piper somehow.
So Marvel's is coming out on the 10th, so it's not a holiday weekend. Are we going to get a Marvel movie that does not break $100 million over a weekend? I think we might.
I think we're
at
tracking.
this
we
rate,
might.
Oh yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a safe bet, I think, after what's happened with Ant-Man 3.
Yeah,
will Marvels be the one? Because I think people sort of treat Guardians like it's its own thing enough to where it might be able to sort of buck the trend, especially if it gets good word of mouth. But I mean, I don't know who's excited for Marvels. That's the thing. Like, who are these people? Why do I care?
I am super excited.
I'm excited to watch content.
Wow.
I watched that movie Women Talking as a sort of prequel to it.
Yes.
Why did you do that?
I'm kidding, I didn't.
I've seen Women Talking. I can't recommend it.
Oh, misogyny once again.
Well, that's true.
Well, it's got a bunch of women talking in it.
Stuff
That's
we
the
like.
They tried to
Boys
warn you with the
don't-
title, okay?
That's
not entertaining.
Someone called their film Women Talking. Yeah.
What a terrible title.
When's Men Talking coming out?
Yeah.
That's in every
actually,
movie.
that's all movies.
That's actually, it would be funny. It's just a bunch of guys talking about this shitty MCU like for 2 hours. That's all the movie is. Like, man, did you see that Ant-Man movie? Did you see MODOK? Oh my god.
Did you see that Ant-Man movie? And he's like, no.
Why the fuck would I see it?
$1 million freaking dollars. What did Az break that down to yesterday? Mahler was like $400 a theater or something like that. It was some ridiculously low number.
That's sad.
No, the Jesus movie is going to pass it up by next week.
Jesus is on his comeback tour.
Yeah, I hope that
beating Ant-Man.
Jesus
like
too.
The MCU tried to take my fucking spot. Like,
yeah.
baby.
Hell no.
Listen, I started universes before it was cool.
Yep.
Exactly.
Christian Wolf for 1999 says apparently Darth Lean was absent from Mando premiere. Thought that was interesting. Yeah, the premiere was yesterday. They did a red carpet on the day it premieres. That's a little weird. Either way, it is tough to care about Star Wars at all. Feels like a chapter from my childhood that has closed. Oh well, bring on the Warhammer. I completely agree.
Oh yeah,
the last Star Wars thing we watched was Andor, which is like the opposite of what Mandalorian is. Mandalorian is an attempt at, it's no characters and no plot, and it's just mindless action that's mandated with no stakes. And then Andor's like, oh, here's a plot and a whole bunch of characters and like meaningful action that's reserved and only happens when it needs to happen for the plot.
Mando like shotgun sprays you in the face with Star Wars stuff. Andor was like, you might spot some Star Wars stuff here and there.
Andor was very reverent about the fact that it's in Star Wars land, kind of.
Star Wars, I think a theme park, but TV shows.
And all these other shows, the Boba Fett shows and the Mandalorian shows, are like, that's all they are. We're Star Wars. We're Star Wars. We're Star Wars. Look, a Wookiee.
I wouldn't be surprised, dude, if you did like a poll on what one of them killed it for you personally. Like 10 years from now, I think Kenobi would actually have killed it for a lot of people.
Yep.
That was it. That was for me. It was just like there's just zero hope. And it was slim before that because of the sequels were just such a mess.
Yeah, it was dead for me, but watching that little toddler outrun Flea was lowest of the low. Like I was like,
this
wow.
Three Stooges
slapstick. Remember, she does it like 3 times.
3 times. And then she outruns Reva too, and Reva's
Kenobi.
Reva.
And they really had tried to get out in front of that Reva thing because they know like her acting wasn't not good. It was just not good.
She was trying to be imposing, and it was like
it didn't work. Classy Vigilante for $5 says, I am more interested in this Mauler and Rags cameo than any Star Wars show cameo.
Wow.
Very true.
I am too.
From what I've heard, Boba Fett is going to make an appearance in season 3.
Oh my goodness gracious. How could we compete with Boba Fett?
They gave him a whole season and it was shit. Why do you want more?
Akabentha.
Christ, you remember that show? That was
they ate
amazing.
chicken with their gloves twice in that show.
Yep, you keep your gloves on when you eat your chicken.
Everyone knows when you eat chicken, you just keep your gloves on and you. It's
Leather
the little
gloves.
things.
Yeah.
I remember
it's part of the religion. All right, they can't take their gloves off.
I can't take my gloves off.
I remember us having some interest in the idea of a power struggle at Tatooine with Jabba and Bib dead, and they showed those twin sisters or whoever they were came in, and I remember us at EFAB were like, okay, this is something for us to think about, a political struggle, a power struggle, whatever. And then it like cuts to him in his back to attack, and we were like, no, not a flashback, please. He'd be like, "Now time with the Tuscans doing Tuscan things." It's like, oh. Remember that train?
The gun train.
Yeah.
Gun train.
The gun train was weird.
And then it was over.
No, it just turned into, that video that came out like during season 1 of that guy just joking about the Mandalorian and like the Baby Yoda's a green dog at the end.
Yeah.
Like that's what it is. It still is that. It's just inane task after inane task and with no characters at all.
What little character we work is almost universally bad.
Yeah.
I'd have to legitimately think about examples to the contrary.
You know that sound effect they have, the Mando sound effect, whenever he does something cool, like shoots a thing? Like yeah. They
the
played
flute.
that like 15 times in this fucking
I
episode.
know, dude. And it just doesn't, like, I know people were like softening up on that. It doesn't work. The music sucks. And and that's what's missing. Again, with Picard season 3, what's one of the biggest fixes they made? They made it sound like fucking Star Trek with Star Trek music. Find somebody who can mimic John Williams and make it Star Wars music.
It was funny. When they were heading to the asteroid field, I think we saw it, and I was like, "Yeah, we're heading in there, I guess." And then Rags started like going, da, 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 da. And it's just like, no, we're getting the Mando version, which is like,
No, that's the Avatar thing and the enemy at the gates thing.
Matthew Hammond for $20 says, "Can we get Amanda Milius on one Wednesday? She may be able to add interesting take on Hollywood since she grew up in it with her dad, John, and now runs her own production company." Yeah, I would talk to her. John, her dad is legend, absolute legend. Bradley Burnett, 2 parts for $50. Thank you very much, Bradley. I've been thinking about starting my own channel for a bit and decided to do it after talking to a bunch of people at the Orlando meetup. Good. Even got some editing software recommendations from Quarterback Garrett. I've always respected the work you all do on your channels. Having done a couple of videos, I have a whole new perspective. My stuff may not be the best quality. Nobody says it first. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
I may have less than 10 subscribers. I know them all. Is one of them your mom? One of them was my mom. But I'm speaking my own mind and having fun doing it. Thanks for the inspiration. That's the whole point. Have fun, Bradley.
There you go.
All right,
Thanks, buddy.
Humble beginnings for everyone.
What's the name of your channel, Bradley? Can we get that in there?
Bradley Burnett, I'm thinking.
Is it? Just
Maybe.
Bradley Burnett? Okay. If somebody knows, please link it in the description. Eric, or one of the Modrotics. Chris, we're at 2 hours, and I know you got another live stream.
Yeah, man.
Bye, Chris.
Fuck you, Chris. Oh, Chris, we should show the picture real quick.
Oh, yeah. I want to see this picture.
Don't go anywhere yet. Don't go anywhere.
What picture?
Oh,
the one
that was posted on Instagram. Where did I put it now? Where did I put it?
Instagram.
Oh, you lost it again.
I put
was
it somewhere.
A story or was it a...
Well, no, it's in our. I put it up in Discord, but I can't remember. We've got so many categories now. I don't know if it was general.
Definitely check the gossip category.
No,
it wasn't general.
Oh, but you should see the picture that
was it Vegas? Maybe it's the Vegas meetup.
Maybe. Perry made a picture of Garrett.
What?
Yeah.
With the
You find that I'll
in
get
gossip?
this.
No, I'll show you. Should I show you guys this? I don't know. It's about a feather.
Oh. Okay.
Like from a duck?
Oh. So I found a
That's
picture of Elrond looking at a feather, but, the feather looks like he's looking at his dick, right? So
Wait,
that's what we're in reference to. Show the old picture.
He has a very slender, elven, feminine.
I don't have. Oh, it's on your Twitter. It's on your Twitter.
It's on my Twitter.
But he did an X-ray girl one too.
Oh no, that was Simu. I guess it's X-ray girl or Perry. Small peepee energy.
You gotta show the original. So Mahler has content.
This is
There's the original.
indistinguishable from like just Rings of Power promotional material.
Yeah, I was going over my video. I'm like, I did not catch this.
That show happened.
It did.
Yes, it
Like
did.
there was like a whole $1 billion Amazon funded Lord of the Rings show that came out.
And it'll come crawling back one day out of the
Like
depths of the
It's hard to
volcano.
believe that it happened.
Oh, there we go.
There we go. So we had a little dinner on Sunday with a bunch of nerds, and one of them was Terry Metalis. So total access media now. That's
Yep.
Shane in the background. Then you can see Chris and me are the three in the back. There's Robert Meyer Burnett. And I was wondering, I'm like, is anybody going to post this on Twitter? Do I have to be the guy to post it on Twitter?
You have
But I don't wanna get
505 notifications for Ryan's Discord.
Wow.
You
Wow.
can see it there. Yeah.
Wow. We know who he cares about.
Yeah. Right.
Wow. The truth
Right?
comes out. No, it's the same with me. I got some down here. I'm not even going to scroll down. I'm not even going to do it.
Don't do it.
The biggest
even
is
gonna look.
160 notifications on Discord.
Right click, mark as read. It's old news anyway. They probably don't care. Whatever
There
they
you go,
punned
read the email.
whatever they
Whatever
punned
it
me
was.
for, they probably forgot I was even there, honestly.
There you go. But we didn't want to get Terry in trouble because, he's willing to talk to us. And we'll talk about that more later in a little bit. But we got to let Chris go so he can go do his other stream. What you got coming up, Chris?
I have a live stream coming up at 1 p.m. Pacific time, 4 p.m. Eastern, with my colleague Alan Ing. We're gonna talk more about Mandalorian, episode 1 and 2.
The way that you said Mandalorian was like thematically perfect.
What?
No, the way you said it, the
way you said it.
Mandalorian.
Your like voice kind of like
Yeah.
gave out a little bit. It wasn't very.
Yeah.
That was well timed.
Yeah.
So, and then we're going to talk about the History of the World Part 2, which is apparently good. It's on Hulu, and Alan has seen, like,
Really?
the first 6 episodes. I mean, it's Mel Brooks. So
That trailer
Oh.
looked horrendous.
although he did a terrible years ago, people all forgot. He did an animated Spaceballs series that was just not great.
Not good.
So I'm skeptical, but and then yeah, we're talking with some filmmakers, the director of a movie called Linoleum. I don't know. It's gonna be a fun stream. Come check it out, and that's where I'm headed. Always good to spend my Wednesday with everyone here except for Rags. So have a great.
Wow.
I'm kidding. I've never met him. So take care, everyone.
Hey, it was great seeing you
man.
Sunday, dude.
Yeah, it was
And,
too brief,
bro.
though. Too brief.
It
We
was
gotta
too
hang out.
brief, and we'll hang again soon. Vegas.
Yeah.
Sure. That's in 2 months. So
All right. I will see you
Wow.
soon.
see you
take
next
care, everyone.
Wednesday.
Thanks again.
Bye.
Thanks, Chris.
Hang out with dudes in the desert.
You guys can hang if I'm going to do super chats. You're welcome to hang out.
Yeah,
or
sure.
not.
I had
I
to
might
watch.
buy some time to you, perhaps.
I had to watch
Like you.
Mandalorian to be here, so I'm gonna milk it for all it's worth.
There you go.
It was quite
Sorry.
a difficult
Is-
task.
is-
We got 7 more to go.
7 more to go. I'm not going to make it.
Are they all gonna be mercifully like 30 minutes long?
Hopefully.
Hopefully less.
All right.
I am not going to make it. I will not finish it. I might make it to next week and then forget about it, kind of like Last of Us. But
Honestly, I'm surprised you watched the first episode at all. Like, good for
I
you,
am
man.
too. Well,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm like, we need something to talk about today. I mean, aside from Lord of the Rings, which we already talked about. The Grizzly for $50, saying the Mandalorian is D&D and an insult to my craft, good sir.
You're right.
Being a DM requires a talent for quick thinking and coming up with cohesive narrative on the spot. These Zoomer TikTok writers couldn't tell a story to save their lives. Grizzly, you are right. I stand
right.
corrected.
I imagine a DM doing like a Star Wars themed campaign for his friends and his players, and they're like, "All right, what happens when we go into this room?" And the DM's like, but Boba Fett shows up. Oh my God, it's Boba Fett. And all the players go, oh my God, it's Boba Fett. He's here. That's the show.
That is the show.
That is the show.
It's incredible.
Oh boy. Where was I?
Depression.
Lost in thought.
Depression? No, I'm pretty happy. I made it home alive. That was good. After a long drive with the wife, and we've been married for a long time, and we really get along. That we don't want to kill each other. Being in a car for 16
Yeah.
hours together, we're totally cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've been on those trips. It's good.
And she gets on me a little bit,
little
for the
bickering,
speeding.
but that's just
Yeah,
how
a
it
little.
is,
You know, when I hit the 105, she's like, slow down. So
That's so high.
Oh no,
I
not on a road trip.
105.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
What is that
pretty.
in
it's a little
kilometers?
fast. It's a little
Oh,
fast.
it's way more.
It's way
Oh
more.
my God, Gary.
Yeah. So in Texas, you can drive 80, and like really, they won't mess with you up to 87. So it's pretty
Yeah.
cool. You know.
Up to
They
87.
understand.
Gary recalls the day he went 88 down the
87.
highway.
Wow.
Yes.
I'd say like the max most people can do is 80 in my country before you get in trouble. But dang, 87 is really fast.
Yeah, we were buzzing right by the cops. They were everywhere in Texas. Going 85, 86. They were fine. They were fine with it.
Yeah, but you want to commit. If you're not fast enough, then the cops will catch you.
Yep.
So you have to,
Well, we got to do the high speed chase if they come after me. You'll
Yeah,
never take
yeah,
me
of
alive,
course, yeah.
copper.
You got to commit.
See
Don't
those
just go a
lights.
little bit over. Either do the
This
speed
remind me-
limit or go all
Hit
the
the
way.
pedal.
Say the cops like wouldn't necessarily do anything. It reminds me of, I don't know if you guys know the Simpsons joke where Homer's like speeding past Chief Wiggum, and Lou picks it up and he goes, "Let him go, Lou. Someone going that fast has no time for a ticket."
He's right.
It's true.
Hey, the great Yellow Flash, who is going to be joining us on Real BBC next week, is super chatted $20. Says John Favreau is a hack, and he kisses Kathleen Kennedy's backside.
Oh my goodness.
Well,
Dude, like
he
go ahead, Gary.
no, I was just going to say he had a chance to have Gina's back and write a story, and he hasn't done that yet. So if he does that, that's fine. I would say like Mandalorian season 1 is the best season. If you want to say there's a best season of this, and it was very
It's
mediocre.
not the worst season. That's probably why.
Well, there's been
I'd
two.
probably go with season 1.
I think season 1 is the best. I still think it's bad,
Yeah,
but it's not the worst of the two.
The thing is,
Yeah.
if we're talking about like why Favreau's reputation is in the toilet, I would just say we don't even need Star Wars as much as you can use it. It's The Lion King, man.
Lion
You see what he
King,
did to that
yeah.
fucking movie?
Yep.
Annihilated it.
Massacred everything about
Beyond fucking
movie.
rude what he did to that movie.
John Favreau is a good indie filmmaker who with indie situations and character pieces with a lot of zippy little dialogue. He's done some great indie films, and Elf was great. I think that's more his speed. Like even Iron Man is not. Star Wars is fantasy. Star Wars is fantasy. It requires lore. Now George Lucas was pretty loose with his lore, but it felt lived in. It felt real when George and Irvin Kershner and Gary Kurtz were around. And I'm not the biggest fan of the prequels, but they're better than this shit for sure. And the
Absolutely they
lore,
are.
there's at least like solid lore behind it.
Gave us loads of shit, the prequels that
It
is
did.
fun and has evolved into different mediums. Like Coruscant on its own is fucking cool.
Yeah.
The Clone Wars, Coruscant, all of the droid stuff. I mean, it exploded the world and opened it up significantly.
The Jedi Council, all of that, all the Jedi lore is from the prequels.
Mace
Yeah,
Windu.
Yeah,
I was,
Jar Jar Binks.
Jar Jar.
exactly.
But the world building in this is terrible. Okay, we start this episode with we're doing a ceremony with a young Mandalorian who's never supposed to take his helmet off, but what if he outgrows that little plastic helmet? And
They plan
then
ahead.
we're
Padding on the inside. They remove it.
Sorry, they
Over
grow
time,
like with
yeah.
they expand.
oh, okay,
Yeah.
it grows with them. And then they do their ceremony, which they must do a lot at a beach that has a giant reptilian dinosaur crocodile that comes and gets you.
Well,
Once
it's
in a
just
while.
it's just a crocodile, and these are like the deadliest, most competent warriors in the galaxy with space age technology. So one crocodile shouldn't really pose much of a problem at all.
Dude, the crocodile
I
killed like
mean,
7 of them.
It did.
It did.
It's like we
part of
got to
the
have more
ceremony.
ceremonies to make
More
up for this
ceremonies
ceremony.
here. Yeah.
I could.
All
don't
you have to
even-
do is not get eaten by.
And I
crocodile.
could, I said it earlier, but you guys weren't here. I couldn't help but think of the poor child that was eaten by a crocodile at Disney World a couple of years back. So,
Aw.
like, that's the first. Yeah, it's like that's the first thing I think of. Like, you guys
That's
could have
a
thought of something better, like a sea
Vacation
monster,
they'll
maybe.
never forget. That's true. The ads were correct.
Maybe it was an
Marketing was on
allegory
point.
for Ron DeSantis. I'm not
Alligator
sure.
Ori.
An alligator
An
Ori.
alligator.
Why didn't they just go in the cave?
Why didn't they just
Oh, in
fly
the
away
cave,
from the
yeah.
jetpacks and shoot it with their guns? I don't
Yeah.
know. Because it's more dramatic if we stand next to it and get.
And was this just was incredibly unfortunate? It's just like, oh fuck, this is happening now. This doesn't usually happen, but here we are. And it's like, oh, it'd be really handy if one of us just came in with a spaceship right now and shot it. Wouldn't that be? Oh, Mando's here! Yay!
Oh, it's that guy. I heard he took his helmet off that one time.
Yeah, we don't like
he
him.
wasn't supposed to. He can't be part of our
no helmeters.
I don't even know how he found us here.
Totally saved us after we lost 7 of our dwindling Mandalorians.
Dude, it is infinitely funny that she keeps reminding him how banished he is, but he can still turn up, he can still fight with them, gets all his armor and all that weaponry.
So he could have the
That's
same
the sword that leads all the Mandalorians, but you're not a Mandalorian though, really.
So
I have you on the cross your
He
name.
came back to have the same conversation again.
It's like he came in and like, just wanted to double check. Just double checking real quick.
Please, can I be part of the Mandalorians again?
Please.
You guys sure about that decision?
Do you remember that wild time where I was having that Darksaber fight and I fell off the bridge and you were telling me about remember all that shit? She's like, yeah. He's like, I don't remember what you said. Do you mind going over it again just real quick? It was in a different TV show. What am I gonna do?
Do you think it's like do you have like because the blacksmith lady seems to just be expositional Mandalorians or shit lore person? She tried to hit the alligator with her hammers.
I know. At least she got her ass kicked. I was like, okay.
Yeah, you were expecting because it's Disney that she'd like fly up and do a flip through the air and bonk it on the nose and it would just like vaporize.
That'll happen. They're saving that for later, Rags. They don't want to do it too soon.
Well, they've already given her the crazy, I'll kill all these, which isn't impressive to kill stormtroopers in this show. But, you know, she's able to kill them all with her hammer and tongs. And I was like, okay. All right. Okay. It's all right. Sure.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And they all talk the same way, like they're voice actors voicing for stunt people. Now, remember when the big thing was like Pedro Pascal's actually in the suit, everybody?
Not anymore.
And they just... No, he's not.
He's like, fuck this. I'm gonna go. I gotta be in The Last of Us where I get to like act and stuff.
Yeah.
If you check the IMDb, they've got the Mandalorian that it says like voice Pedro Pascal. That it's like the Mandalorian. There's some other guy. It's like wait. It's like, yeah,
that's
certainly changed.
He does a weekly Zoom call where he just reads out his lines.
Yeah, and it could be over Zoom. You know, like it sounds like he's talking through a communicator anyway.
Well, and think about, like, he probably had about an A4 page worth at most of dialogue to read for that episode. So a season is what, 8 pages?
Could have done it once, yeah. And then if they ever change anything, they'll just give him a call.
10 hours at most of voice acting at that point, double up, maybe triple up the lines. But the thing is, the deliveries are so shit that he's like, how do you fuck those up? So it's just, you just give them all out. It's like, we are going to this place today. They did this with this place. Navarro has been changed. This is different today.
I know where we have to go. I have someone we need to meet.
Should just get AI to do it and
oh dude,
an AI voice.
Do you think they would ever have an AI generated character in The Mandalorian? What?
No,
they wouldn't do that. They wouldn't do that. It's so soulless.
Remember when John Boyega said they won't Disney Plus me? It makes me think like, how long before that would be like, they won't fucking re-speech of me. They're not going to AI me. Like,
too late.
Actually, it says in page 312 of your contract that, but even both now and following your demise, we own the rights to your likeness and voice. You'll never die. You will always be Finn.
What if, in a strange way, it traps your soul? That'd be weird.
Oh yeah, like a camera, like a soul stealer.
Yeah.
There's a thought.
Stuck there forever, working for Disney.
Hell,
God, that is hell.
That's like that's bad as being a Mandalorian.
That's what the doctor says to you right before Soma starts up. He talks about that. So.
Yeah.
Maximum Weeb, 2 super chats for $40. Thank you, Maximum Weeb. I highly recommend Tolkien 2019 movie about his life, orphan, lost boyhood friends in World War I. Very deeply moving. My folks also cried and want to see Lord of the Rings trilogy now that they knew the context. Also saw Everything Everywhere All at Once and Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon back-to-back Michelle Yeoh masterpieces at Texas Theater, where Lee Harvey Oswald was caught. Stellar experience. That theater is still around. I kind of want to go there now. Also saw Soylent Green, join a farm co-op. It's people. I freaking love Soylent Green. Great movie. That's grim. Soy. Yeah, well, they turn people into soy, and people
Don't ruin the movie for me, Gary. No, I'm joking.
Oh yeah,
God.
you can't be spoiling classics like that.
You missed it earlier, Muller and Rags. I told her about the Kirk Uhura first.
I haven't made it to that part yet.
She's all, you spoiled it for me. I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, you forgot what she would care about in terms of payoffs. It's not going to be killing an alien race or anything. It's going to be
1966.
10.
That was before I was born. That's how long ago that was. Okay?
Wow.
There wasn't wheels and math back then.
Gary, the funniest one is when Passion of the Christ was coming out. It's like, can I spoil that movie for you?
He dies, you know that, right?
They're like, what?
What?
Grendel Vivat for 1999. I remember explaining to my little brother why FOTR and TT won every other category but Best Picture. Fellowship of the Ring and Two Towers. I was honestly shocked Return of the King won. In my opinion, they weren't if they weren't released 3 years in a row, the Academy would have done that. Yeah, if they were released 3 years apart, like Star Wars, they probably would have won. They should have. I mean, Fellowship of the Ring should have won Best Picture. I think Two Towers is the best. But no, I think they were just waiting for the end, and they knew it. It was silly though, because does anybody? Because I don't know the answer to this question. What won Best Picture over Fellowship of the Ring?
Is it a Meryl Streep movie?
Probably.
What year was that? 2000? 2001?
2001.
Wow.
Gladiator.
Okay.
That
What
was a
won
good
over
movie,
Two
though.
Towers?
And this would be 2002.
Yeah.
A Beautiful Mind.
Russell Crowe, stop.
Are you fucking kidding me? That's what Akiva Goldsman won an Academy Award for, by the way. He did the script for that.
Academy Award for Best Picture 2003 was Chicago.
Chicago. And then 2004, yeah.
2004, yeah.
Chicago was all right. I like Chicago for a musical. I usually don't like musicals, but Chicago was all right. But it's not better than Two Towers. None of those movies are better than any of the Lord of the Rings films. It's ridiculous.
And I love Gladiator, but it's not.
I like
anywhere
Gladiator
close to Lord of the Rings.
I was
some people would prefer Gladiator, I guess, but yeah, I mean,
I would not.
Lord of the Rings, baby, come on.
Gladiator's good, but it's no.
I think Fellowship's a superior written and produced film.
Yes,
than Gladiator.
It's superior.
Does Gladiator have an army of the dead?
No, but it does have a dead guy. It does have a dead guy in it.
There's a dead guy,
an actual dead actor.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, died halfway.
Dedication to the craft. I like it.
Haru for $20. All hail. Have you seen the clips for the new POC Tinkerbell and Woke Anne Frank? There's a Woke Anne Frank movie.
Yeah.
They're making an Anne Frank movie?
Is Anne Frank black?
It's animated.
Thank God Anne Frank wasn't ginger in real life.
Okay. Yes. Tinkerbell is black because that's the only other race in the world, according to Disney right now. I don't know when you have to race swap from blonde.
Peter Pan's like Hispanic or something, or
he's Alexander Molyneux. He looks like an Indian guy.
Melanated.
Yeah, Patel Pan. That's what Az said. So Anne Frank movie that compares deportation to the events of the Holocaust.
Yeah.
Truly nothing is sacred anymore. It's going to get worse. We're in the it's going to get worse before it gets better phase, and they're just shitting out the projects they can't cancel because they were already finished.
How dare you say that about the Marvels?
Oh, you know there's serious conversations with some people going,
dude.
We need to put it on Disney Plus.
Who was recently like talking about everything? They were like, "What is this project? The Marvels? What is this?" And they're just like, "Well, we've been working on it for a while. It's gonna be
good. It's gonna be a movie.
Whose idea was this? Why did you approve this?" It's like
you don't understand how many times we can call the fans racists and bigots for not liking our movie. It's a great opportunity.
They call it the big one. They're like, we're going to get all of them with this one.
Kevin Feige compared viewing it to seeing the Avengers for the first time.
Wait, so is there a cut already?
Yeah.
But we got to wait till November because they're probably chopping it to pieces and putting it back up again.
Yeah,
see-
just like they did with the Avengers. Oh, wait, they did.
Months.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hayden 75 for $20. Cara Dune is out doing all the stuff we wanted to see in The Mandalorian. Don't worry about it. Here's more
Ironically.
non-talking baby that looks like a character you loved in the past. Exactly. Well, that's what they both are. One's a Boba Fett knockoff and one's a Yoda knockoff.
You say Yoda knockoff? At least Yoda had a fucking character, man. Like,
Yoda, I see Yoda. Yoda could talk. Like he had dialogue. He expressed thoughts and opinions through the use of words.
Classic dialogue, like truly classic cinematic dialogue.
Dude, that guy was a legend, right? Like, that's one of those risks. They managed to nail it.
It's a Muppet. He's a fucking Muppet with Miss Piggy is voicing him, Frank Oz, and it's brilliant.
They made you believe.
Made you believe. Lukey. Sawdog has gifted 5 Nerdrotic memberships for $25. Thank you. And Dragon 651 has given us a $20 super sticker. I appreciate it. Thank you. What's the super sticker? I can't see it.
It was like a girl with like stars, and I didn't really know how to explain it.
A girl with stars is fine.
Yeah.
Gary,
we hate women here, so fuck that girl with stars.
She's not talking, Gary. She has stars.
Hey, I probably shouldn't even bring it up. We were talking about it in DMs, Mahler. I've gotten on somebody's radar. Apparently, I have a reply guy with almost 1 million subs, which is really rich and cool. And
oh yeah, that guy.
Yeah,
that's got to be unique, Gary.
It's got to be unique, right? Okay.
Yeah, a guy with millions subs, but can barely crack 20K views on a video. Right?
Probably has something to do with completely going back on your entire channel's message at one point. I would guess that'd be a guess.
Yeah.
Great con for 10 Australian dollars. Mala Rags, I just finished your book of Boba Fett EFAP yesterday, and it answered the how do you tend to Grogu in 2 separate seated star figure? How do you tend to Grogu in a 2 separate seated starfighter? That's a quote. They're actually connected, even though they're clearly not.
Yeah, so he poops through like the tube into the main one, but it's like how?
Well, throughout the show, and you saw this in the first episode, he just sort of like lowers down into it, and then he'll appear later outside of the ship in his little floating crib. But they're never gonna. It's like when whenever characters in movies and stuff, and they have the sword on their back, they'll never show them like pulling the sword out of the sheath because it's like damn near impossible to do because of how long a sword is. Or whenever Batwoman takes off her helmet or takes off her helmet, they would never show that happening because you'd have all the hair and stuff and everything like that, so they'd never show it. It's the same thing here. They'll never show Grogu getting in or out of the ship because it makes no sense how it's like possible for that to happen. It's one of those don't think about it things that's just in the show now. But it's fine because look, Naboo Starfighter, remember the prequels?
Right?
And the Phantom
Menace. Well, remember like when Luke Skywalker dismissed Grogu, he's fucking R2-D2 flew him back because they wanted to save on effects budget. So what's a reply guy? Has anybody got a good explanation of what a reply guy is?
Just like an interlocutor and a definition conversation, or
it's a guy who shows up in all your Twitter in your Twitter notifications.
An ankle biter.
Here we go. UrbanDictionary.com. A man who behaves in an overly familiar way and is always replying to the social media messages of a woman who he doesn't know or barely acquainted with. Which I mean,
I never knew.
But
you were a lady.
Well, you learn something every day.
It's 2023.
He's a senile old lady.
I'm a senile old lady, and anytime somebody tries to cancel me, that's what I'm going to identify as. Nice. So don't be ageist and sexist, okay? Okay.
Oh my God. You got a reply guy.
Oh, here, this is probably the one. A detractor that replies and leaves hate comments on every single social media post or video. This type of troll is dedicated, spending hours every single day leaving negative comments.
Well, that sounds fulfilling.
Yeah.
Doesn't it?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know about you. Like, I don't block or mute anyone on Twitter. I've never had to. Like, I don't feel that. Like, I'm a father and a husband of many years now, and you can never underestimate a father and a husband's ability to tune shit out and ignore shit. We have refined our skill. When that happens, it's like an instinct. It goes up 87% in all males.
This
is true. So the older you get,
we even talked about it earlier. We're like, if you send a message to, for example, Gary, I'm only going to send one question, because if I send 10 questions, guess what? One's only going to be answered.
9 are going to get ignored because they're not.
He's going to choose the one that's easiest. To be like,
in Discord, if there's a message and it's gotten buried one message deep, he never read it.
Or 500.
Doesn't matter. Yeah.
Yeah. Life is TLDR for an old man like me. All right. Just
ain't got the time.
Too loud, didn't react.
Yeah. Too loud. Yeah. Smooth the DJ for 2 British pounds. Proper money says, hi, Rags.
Hello.
Hello. I'm glad you're here, Rags.
I am glad to be here. It's always a treat to hang out and talk about Mandalorian. I love it. I love talking about Mandalorian. Good stuff.
Baby Grogu.
Wow.
Derek Rios for $9.99. Hey, Gary, plushie came in today looking quite nice. Don't do anything bad to it. I'm looking into making it a support plushie to piss off my workplace. Also, I'm super skeptical about the new Lord of the Rings movie announcements. You should be. Hollywood does not deserve any benefit of the doubt at all.
No, I'm all for making money, but I'm like, the whole reason they're probably doing this is like, we've got a chance to make some serious cash here. Like, it's like, like that's I mean, that's, to be honest with you, the big impetus behind Rings of Power as well, right? They were like, we need our Game of Thrones, we need our blah blah blah. It's just like, any storytellers still alive? Like, anyone around? Yeah, tell you, get a big blast of that from the last Real BBC episode with Chuck Dixon. Talking to a storyteller is that
was fun. That was fun.
That episode's down because of copyright.
So back up yet. As had you, there's 2 clips they had to cut out, and sometimes YouTube takes their fucking sweet ass time. I can't believe it's not up yet.
Now? Oh,
I don't know. I hope so. I certainly hope so, because
he needs to consider recording streams while streaming them, so then he can do it all locally instantly. That's what I do with EFAP now. It's like it's a double up protection, basically.
That's what I'm doing right now.
Because YouTube can hold them hostage with their automated systems like that. It's ridiculous.
And it's a good one. I mean, like, you did great, by the way, Mahler. You know, like, you know, not super familiar with Chuck Dixon, but like, you know, he's a comic book legend, and I thought it was a great episode. So when it does come back, please give it a listen, give it a watch. You know,
I thought it was a really good episode. It's fun chemistry.
Yeah.
Good.
Don't let it get to your head.
Don't let it get to your head. I do want to talk about Picard season 3, though. I'm not going to break down every episode. I'm going to save that for a video, because I'm really liking it, even though it's got that shit stain Alex Kurtzman's name on it. But I think it brings up another.
How do you really feel?
Yeah, he's terrible. He's awful. He's J.R.R. Abrams, but worse.
Oof.
Which is possible.
That is possible, yeah.
Hey, be nice to J.R.R. That man was a senator.
I love the fact that Jar Jar Binks is responsible for the Empire.
I know.
Well, we thought it was a good idea at the time.
But I think it brings up a pretty good conversation about, like, especially in these specific circumstances, you had Kurtzman, the offender, walk away. So his name's still on it, but he had nothing to do with the show. 0 to do with this show. This is basically 12 Monkeys. The people who made the 12 Monkeys show made this show. And they even brought in a bunch of actors. The main guy who plays Pyro in X2 is Sneed.
Really?
Yeah.
I was just wondering, strangely enough, I was wondering where that guy went. I was like, where did that guy go?
He's the
he did well.
Yeah, he loses his head. But
man.
Oh, that episode's out, so that's fine. But it moves Star Trek forward. It retcons two of the worst things that they did in Picard. I can't say though because they haven't happened yet. They don't retcon another thing, but they make it a plot point that actually works towards the end, which is Robot Picard, which is stupid. It's fucking stupid. Raffi's still in it, but they pair her with somebody who makes her tolerable. I'm not going to say great. I'm going to say tolerable. Like it's fine. They broke up the lesbian relationship between 7 of 9 and Raffi, which is the most accurate depiction of lesbians in Hollywood. Because they break up all the time. That's the joke. But it's also true. Yeah. Well, I'm going to say the joke again, Rag. Sorry. Grew up in San Francisco, around a lot of lesbians. And the joke amongst themselves is, what do you bring? What does a lesbian bring on her second date? A U-Haul. A U-Haul.
I get it. I'm just glad we didn't go the domestic assault route. So.
No, we didn't.
That was the other way.
That was the other one, but yeah, it's just the U-Haul one. Yeah. But that's after the domestic assault, so sorry.
Oh, went there.
Oh my god!
I just went there anyway.
Disavow.
I avow my own joke. There you go. No, but I think it's an anomaly. So it's a goodbye that you don't have to watch anything else. It's not connected. Like watch whatever the fuck you want. I don't really care. But I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed it for what it is. It's the TNG movie that's good, and it does call back to some of the TNG movies, and it's almost set in the original series movie universe. There's a lot of music and callbacks, and there is tons of fan service, but it's so good. So it's not like the best dessert you've ever had, but it's like one you never thought you'd get after not having a dessert for a long time. It's good. It's got a lot of heart, and the best thing about it is like the MVPs are Riker and Worf. Riker and Worf rule in this show.
Riker in that first episode is fucking awesome.
Yeah,
they should have just called it something different. They should have called it Next Generation or something, or like why would they call it Picard and give it the trappings of that crap?
That's probably the only reason why you got to have it, right? It's tied. That's probably a lot of red tape stuff as well, like that you wouldn't be able to call it anything else. Maybe give it a subtitle. Would that have been possible
to show you that the current and they have chapter names that are really good, like the Next Generation. I can't say what the last episode's name, but it's very cool. But it shows you how the showrunners don't give a shit about Star Trek, is because this was the final season. They knew it was the final season with Patrick Stewart, and everybody fucked off and did their own thing because they just lost interest. They didn't give a shit. They don't care about Star Trek.
So Gary, if you're familiar with it, it shows like the first panel of the meme is a bunch of people are in like this little house having fun, and there's a guy outside that's like, "Can I come play?" And then the second one is they're in there with them, and then that person pushes all of those people out. And then they're like, "I'm bored now," and then they leave.
Yep.
And that sounds like what's just happened. It's like we're gonna piss all over a thing, and then actually, fuck it, we're bored now. Bye. We're gonna move on to the next thing. And it's like, thanks.
I think what they probably should have done was for Picard season 3, if they needed like a subtitle, I suppose, for it. It is a Star Trek show about Picard and a bunch of other, essentially really older actors. But they don't want it to really be a part of what came before, so they should have called it Star Trek in Continuity.
There you go. There you go. I would have taken it. Or Incontinent.
Incontinent.
Yeah. It's a completely different show. That's it, even Raffi, who is the one holdover because Terry Metalis got rid of
the banana phone guy.
No.
Because if he's in the show, then
she was the drug addict who lived in Space San Bernardino in the first 2 seasons, and it like literally is
everything I know about Picard is through Red Letter Media. So
there you go.
I know her, yeah.
And hey, listen, they kind of liked the first episode. I'll leave it.
Yeah, seems like they kind of liked it.
Well, they highlighted was that they felt similarly before with, I guess, the premieres of season 1 and 2. I can't remember if they liked. It's probably that thing that happens all the time where you've got one episode that's the least amount of piss in your face, and so you're like, there might be good things to come.
Then you get pissed in the face.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's that's how I felt. I didn't like any of season 1 and 2. I felt hopeful because I saw a Star Trek ship in season 2, but that then that quickly just went away and it just went to hell so fast. But this one, the first episode, I watched it and I'm like, I didn't hate it. That was my thing. It's like, wow, I didn't actively want to throw something at the screen. That's progress. We'll see if Robert's right, or will it go to shit? And then I was able to see the rest, and it wasn't from Paramount. Okay. They don't no. But it got better. It gets better. It's character driven. It is not gonna it's not high art. It's Star Trek. Yeah, it's shot more modern. It's dark, but it gets lighter. We'll just say. I'll leave it at that. It gets lighter.
I remember the starship designs of the 90s, that nice carpeted Enterprise and the white
like a cruise
walls
ship.
and the kind of it just had a vibe to it. We had progressed past all the knobs of the original series, and it was bright. It was bright and kind of optimistic. It was beige, but not like boring. It was like, oh yeah, it's a starship. I can see everything. Yeah.
Out of curiosity, Gary, there's a show called Community, and a lot of people in chat will be familiar with this, but the writers got switched up for season 4, and it's noticeably much worse.
Mm-hmm.
And then season 5, the writer came back, and there's a comment from a character in season 5 saying, in regards to the previous year, it was so weird that the gas leak happened and it went through the whole area. And everybody basically saying everybody was out of their mind for that year. Like I was like, are there any lines like that throughout this season that's sort of meta reference?
Similar? Yes, absolutely. They take shots at previous seasons. It's really like ultra sarcastic and passive aggressive and good. And they retcon 2 like horrible, utterly fucking horrible decisions, and just and retcon them so it's heavy handed. They retcon it. They're just like, that shit never happened.
It's like no,
that was
not
stupid.
happen.
That shit did not happen. And it was like Kurtzman just didn't care, I guess. There's so much more to be told about this, but the whole point of it is it's got people liking something that they were just completely out on. And this does not save Star Trek by any stretch of the imagination, unless they give Terry the keys to the castle, which I don't think they're going to do. I hope they do. But they're not. So this is your goodbye. This is your live action goodbye. This is so if something like this happened with Star Wars, it would be tough because you're not really moving the story forward. It's possible with Doctor Who, they could retcon the freaking Timeless Children with one sentence, and man, the fandom would probably not all come. They wouldn't all come back, but you'd get a lot of them back if they just said, "Oh, that Timeless, I was on Time Lord fucking acid."
Oh,
and it's just
you
bad.
guys have highlighted so many ways they can easily. That one's easier than undoing the sequel trilogy. That
I don't even know where you start.
Luke woke up and it was all a dream, but it's like, no, legitimately in Doctor Who, there are so many ways you can easily write that Timeless Children shit off. Any writer can get it out. It's just you gotta choose to do that. It's funny you're saying as well, because this one good season of Star Trek or one good show in Star Wars, in my opinion, being Andor, or having something like Guardians popping out in the MCU, if it's good, it's like, yeah, these are all, they don't feel like the improvement of the shows or the series or the IP. It feels more like a goodbye. This is sort of like, this is what things were like at one point, if you remember.
Oh, you remember whenever the content was good? Yeah.
But here's where it's a win, even though overall we lost franchise, but we knew that they're probably going to announce more Kurtzman Trek. It will suck. It will absolutely suck. Promise you that. But here's where it's a win. We had a creator come in and respond positively to all fan criticism. And not only that, they reached out to some of us to talk.
Madness.
Crazy. Fucking crazy.
Kind of thing
what
you
is
should
this black
encourage.
magic, this sorcery?
And the talk wasn't, we'll give you this if you like it. And it's like, no, they I can't. I was the only thing I was requested was be gentle. So, like, I can't promise that.
No.
You know, like, I try to be fair, but yeah, they and this isn't the only time this has happened over the few years. I've been contacted, and you know, I'm sure you guys get emails from people. I get emails from people, but I've been contacted by people from Rings of Power. Some of them currently working on it. I've been contacted by people who've worked on Disney Plus shows, who will never go back because they fucking hated the experience. And yeah, they're reaching out, going, yeah, it's gotten nuts. It's gotten nuts in Hollywood. You're not that far off. And now that the money's running out, we're going to see the consequences. All that we're seeing it with Ant-Man. Ant-Man, like, all of us were saying, wow, the Marvel Cinematic Universe is going down the wrong road here, and it's going to fail. And it was denial until Ant-Man flopped. And Ant-Man flopped. It's flopping.
Absolutely.
It's not going to make its money back.
They need these movies to make so much. It's so bloated, the whole system at this point, which is why, like, it's just too good of news, because it's like, finally, like, stronger evidence. Because we were talking about this a little bit earlier before this stream, but box office numbers going down to that level, it's like, oh, normal people are really picking up on this. Then that's all that means.
Yeah. And
go and talk to them, they're probably just going to be telling you stuff like, they're just not as, I don't know, they're just not as special. That's probably it. Simple as that. They won't necessarily tell you like a laundry list of inconsistencies, or whether or not they like seeing certain heroes, or whether or not blah, blah, blah. They might just say like, it just doesn't seem as fun anymore. I don't know.
Yeah. I just don't have the time.
Stories are not as good.
A lot of times people can't put their finger quite on what it is. I mean, that's how it was with TLJ for a lot of people. They just walked out of the theater and went, something's not right.
That's why, I mean, the whole time we've been saying it's going to take a while for the general audiences to come around, because they're not in tune as much as we are, watching these things, breaking them down, analyzing them. They're just in there watching it and going, okay, that was a show or that was a movie, and I'm going on with my life. So it takes 3 years for people to start going, yeah, this MCU thing, it used to be really great, and now they kind of all suck. I walk out of the movie and I don't like it, and I don't want to watch the next thing. It's just like, it takes a little time.
And COVID didn't help it at all either, because we got used to not going to the movies. So between not good movies and COVID, and just a lot of different normies. So
MCU, man, they just threw a bunch of stuff at you with the shows and movies, and it was just too much crap all at once. Like, you could deal with like a couple bad apples in a phase, but whenever every single piece of content that they put out is bad and worse than the one before it.
Well, listen, man, you go when you go to the cinema now, especially like post the bigger parts of the COVID era, it's like, what's the MCU up against? It's like, well, Tom Cruise would be one of the big ones, like, but for legitimate blue people in Avatar, that's a tough one. An animated cat in the form of Puss, you know, like this is, and a cocaine bear. These things are going to rip you apart if you're not careful, and that's where we're at.
Cocaine bear will rip you apart if you're not careful.
Oh my gosh, cocaine bear's scary.
That's the Avengers now. That team.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Ironically, to be honest with you,
absolutely.
Oh my god, if Puss in Boots and Cocaine Bear like defeated the blue people, I would be so happy. They got to have Meth Gator versus Cocaine Bear.
Oh,
Meth
Gator.
Oh my god.
That needs to happen. And the
Floridian
Meth Gator
legend.
can eat Mandalorians in the prologue. That would be my favorite.
Oh, he could, yeah.
A nice snack before you fight the
Cocaine
bear.
Avengers. Cocaine Avengers. Chat. Oh, I got the wrong one. Sorry. There it is. Cocaine
Then you
Avengers.
got to cross them over with the Kong and Godzilla shit, and it'll be great.
It would. Kaiju, like Cocaine Godzilla. That would be the shit.
Oh my god, that'd be so scary.
For some reason, I want to see Cocaine Kong first, though.
Kong.
He falls asleep in a coke field in Colombia. Yeah, because you don't want to do Cocaine King Kong. That might not be politically correct. But you want to do Cocaine Godzilla, and then King Kong can be addicted to fentanyl or something like that.
That's even worse.
Yeah,
That's even
fentanyl.
worse.
Well, he'd be just asleep, wouldn't he?
The eternal sleep.
The eternal sleep.
Probably. Yeah.
No. I don't make the rules on politically correct. I'm just pointing out, like, there's certain months you can't do things, and
You just can't.
you just can't do stuff. I don't make the rules. Mahler, you take requests for EFAP. I watched a video that almost made me die laughing. Near the start, they put annoying equals N-word or see you next Tuesday on the screen for reviewers talking about MCU and Riva. Really? What?
Oh, maybe they're like, maybe
Yeah.
like if they say that a character is annoying, but what they really mean to say is essentially like a slur.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
like,
that would make everything
years ago,
really
it was like
easy, huh?
Aussie, right?
Like,
What a
the
straw man.
connection, how you can turn someone into a racist has become really easy these days, right? They've sort of given up the word annoying or clown. That'll be enough. It's like, whatever. I connect the dots.
Well, yeah. You just can't, according to some, the cocaine verse. There you go. What's up, rookie critic? The cocaine verse. I'm all about Hollywood becoming the cocaine verse again. That would be cocaine's a terrible drug, by the way. It's a hell of a drug and it's a terrible drug. But quite frankly, we were getting a better creative output when they were all a bunch of drugged out maniacs.
Yeah, back when the Princess of Alderaan was
high as fuck. Tom Sizemore, by the way, I don't know if they've unplugged him yet, but they are going to unplug him.
Yeah.
Great actor. Had a lot of demons. Had trouble getting over him, but it looks like he's
That's
going
sad,
out.
man.
Sad. Rest in peace, brother. Mahler, when is the EFAP? Stop it. When is the EFAP? The Last of Us 7 coming? I think the critics are a little excessive on this show, says Magnum Norse for $10.
Supposed to premiere today, but the thing is, I had so much editing to do on this one because we have like an hour of checking out comment sections and talking about different things. Like we ended up talking about Ragnarok for a while and some other things. So it's just taking longer to edit. So it'll be out on Friday probably.
There you go. The Shadow Loaf knows for 20 British pounds. Proper money. Hail, everyone. A question for Rags, if I may. Firstly, hi, Rags. Secondly,
Hello.
Apologies if this has already been asked, but speaking of The Mandalorian, is Rags vid on it still being worked on, or is it shelved for the time being?
shelved for the time being, but I will return to it. Something else has my attention, and I think you'll be satisfied with what I've decided to do. So do not you worry.
Organized Chaos Part 2?
No.
MILF Manor.
Absolutely. I want to go through the story and the characters. I felt they were very lacking.
Crocodile.
Chris Gore, you were wrong. I absolutely loved Cocaine Bear. Yes, it could have been funnier, but still good. And the gore wasn't bad until the last death, says John Thomas for $10.
Yeah, that was very excessive.
I love the meme, but I assume that film won't be as good as I'd like it to be. Like,
Yeah.
I assume it's not going to be as meme worthy as it
It's like
could
Snake
be.
on a Plane. The idea of it was funny. The execution was terrible.
Yeah.
Nikolai Volkov for $1.99. Chris, does John Wick 4 conclude the series? I hope not.
No.
It doesn't.
No, they filmed 2 more, didn't they? As
Yeah.
in, like 4 and 5 were filmed together. So
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh.
And there's a really
I
good
know.
post-credit scene according
I'm
to
also
Chris.
very unhappy that someone just said, I hope it doesn't conclude the series. I wanted that shit to die after the first one. Not because I didn't like it, because I actually loved it.
Oh, you didn't
first
want to
one is-
ruin.
Oh, my
Right.
kid loved it. The first one. Freaking loved it.
I loved the ending of the first one. It
The
was
first
done.
one's perfect.
You know how deadpan my kid is, Garrett. So he turns around and goes, "That was awesome, Dad." That's like him jumping up and down and screaming.
Like, yes. Yes, it was.
Pursuing Paranormal for $9.99. Don't forget, Forbidden Frontiers returns
yeah.
this Sunday. New spinoff series: Gary Potter and the Sorcerer Stone, the Chamber of Secrets, the Prisoner of Transcaban, the Train of Fire, the Order of Latinx, the Pure Blood Prince, and the Disney Gallows. Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
I'm sticking with bigots. So the next one will be the Bigots of Azkaban. Because that's what we are for playing the game. So Brandon Anderson for $10. The kid is Jimmy Kimmel's son, Wesley. You guys nailed it. Oh, so it's
Wait,
actually
for real?
somebody's.
What?
No
So
way.
Chris Gore was predicting that the kid in the beginning was some son of a movie star or a producer.
Oh, in Mando?
Yeah, it's
Wow.
Jimmy Kimmel's son.
Okay. Good for
Who is
him.
funnier than Jimmy Kimmel in the
Minor 69er for 10 British pounds. Hail fellowship.
Inkies?
Yeah. Gary, going to New York City in January from UK. Can you recommend a good comic store to visit? I'm in DC and a bit of a daredevil. I'm in a DC and daredevil. My kids love manga. Cheerio, old chap. Why am I blanking on the name now? Went there twice when I was there. Midtown Comics. I mean, it's a big chainy kind of store, but it's good. It's good. Is Forbidden Planet still in New York? I think it closed down. Forbidden Planet's good, but you'll have to be in London for that. You can get some really good chips. See, I'm going to say it right, Mahler. Chips down the block from, well, it's been a few minutes since I've been there, but I went there and had the best. They're French fries. They're fucking French fries, but they call them chips.
They are chips, indeed.
And they were so good. Well, plus it was like the only good food I got in London, so it might have been because I had been starving to death. But I lost 7 pounds when I was there.
Wow.
Well, everybody says the food's bad. But
It's
I
horrible.
don't know.
It might have been, but it's been.
I like fish and chips.
Well, the thing is, British cuisine is just trying to steal a whole bunch of stuff from other places. Where like you go down any different, different streets and different towns will just be filled with all kinds of not British food. But then you get, your fish and chips and your bangers and mash.
Isn't it because like didn't you used to have? This is the lore that I heard. This could be complete bullshit, but it's all from rations. Like you used to have your own cuisine, but after World War II,
and like wiped it out. Yeah,
I don't know if that is just being said because everyone hates our food.
It sounds like a really good excuse that I would go with a lot. Okay, because beans on fucking toast. Jesus.
This is kind of weird.
Wow, why are you hating on beans on
I
toast?
like beans on toast.
But you talk about it like it's a fucking cuisine. It's
when have I
beans
ever
on
talked about
toast?
It's
beans
ration
on
food.
toast?
Okay, as does not you. You're a
He's
Welsh.
from New Zealand.
You're
He
from
doesn't
Welshland.
know. Doesn't
So
That's a different place.
yeah, it's
a completely different land.
Don't be knocking beans on toast, okay?
Beans are fine. Beans are good. They're better on like.
Why are we hating
when they're
toast?
chili and they're on
Toast
a
is
hot
good
dog.
too.
I like beans and I
but-
like toast, but I don't think I'd be. I don't think I'd have them together.
Wow.
What kind of beans?
Beans
You're talking
on-
about baked beans?
There's a
Yeah,
reason we
baked
didn't
beans.
ask you guys to come back.
Oh.
Breakfast is so good. Okay,
You're Canadian. You voted for Trudeau. I'm
You
not
don't even know what
listening
Canadian
to you.
bacon
You're a
first time
woman.
around.
Taker said you got to get out of Canada, by the way.
One day.
Flee.
Flee while you can
Flee,
before they knock
flee
at your
for
door
your
and go.
lives.
Have you thought about self-deleting today? we don't want any. We want to decrease the surplus population.
I wrote a book about that.
You have to show the pirate captain from Mando season 3. I could not stop laughing when I saw it. The fuck was that? Yeah, that was some horrible makeup.
I like him
Pirate?
compared to seeing a CGI thing. I don't know. I thought he was charming. It evokes to me like a B movie type thing.
It looked like an 80s B movie, but like I don't think it was meant to be charming. I think they're just cutting their fucking budget.
Oh yeah, you're probably completely right, but I don't know. He made me smile. I was just looking at this like really shit puppet.
I was like, oh, look at him. He's trying so
Oh
hard.
my god, this definitely looks 90s. Oh my goodness.
I like him. I hope he turns up more. In fact, give him a whole.
He's got a
POV
seaweed
episode.
beard.
Yeah.
He's a pirate. He's trying
That's
to go to school.
awesome in an 80s movie. Okay. that is a Mandalorian. It's just a waste. But you're right. He's probably the best character. Wild Red 1905. Hail to the Nooner. Best in work entertainment. Oh, well, I hope we get to keep you company while you're keeping, I'm assuming, America going. Appreciate that, by the way. Go get them. Please watch the trailer 65. We have. I actually kind of want to see that movie.
65 looks interesting.
It's produced by Sam Raimi.
Ooh, really? I didn't know that.
Yes.
All right, I'm watching it. Although,
how am I supposed to say
Doctor
this?
Strange.
I think I have it. Is it Fyodor Duchestovsky.
That's it. There you go. Uh-oh. Are you Russian? I'm not supposed to like you because you're Russian, but I do anyway. See? So, fuck the world.
I just realized, sorry, mentioning 65. I was just like, it's been a while, but a movie sold on its premise, you know? It's like, there it is.
I know. Like, we're getting these weird things we haven't gotten in a while and we didn't know we missed. It's like, oh, there's premises in films? Like original films with premises?
I'm not even joking. Cocaine bear. Like, it's like, go see it because it's a fucking bear, took some cocaine. You're like, okay.
Okay.
All right.
Well, even Violent Night, which was like a mid movie, but it's like Santa Claus being a Viking lord and killing people. Okay. Why not? And I get to support David Harbour's like massive cocaine habit. No, just kidding. I have no idea.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. In my opinion. Yeah.
Punch them in the face. David Harbour.
Oh, that's right. When he talked about the Nazis.
Yeah.
The Nazis. But yeah, 65 is Adam Driver and some humans land on Earth 65 million years ago and fight some fucking dinosaurs. I'm like, okay.
Oh yeah, that looks so good.
Yeah,
let's do
I'm
it.
Down.
Kylo Ren versus dinosaurs. Okay, fine. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe it's redeemable. Maybe it's his redemption arc. You know?
What do you mean? You already forgave
Adam
himself in
Driver.
Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Himself. That's like he went to go see his own movies. It's fine.
Why do remakes? Warner Brothers could print money forever if they did re-releases of the extended cut trilogy in theaters and Christmas. Exactly what I said in my video. That's all they need to do. I can't believe they didn't do that for the. So we did our own. We did our own streams for the 20th anniversary. It's like, fuck it, I'll talk about it.
Yeah.
And we're gonna do one for Return of the King this year.
Oh yeah.
Can't wait. Dr. Martin Luther Pepe for $5. You know,
I've always found that name funny.
Black History Month is over. Okay.
Oh, it is. Yeah. Shortest
Now,
month of the year.
We need to do a Ginger History Month.
Is that St. Patrick's Day? What month is that?
March.
Coming up, right? Yeah.
Yeah. We need to do it.
That's
Isn't it Women's History? Because like National Women's Day is like on my wife's birthday.
Need that.
Women. My wife's birthday is the same birthday as Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers.
Oh.
Ooh.
Ah, the plot
Condolences.
Hail, my mini Gary showed up today. I'll be celebrating with pineapple pizza come this Friday. Hail, that's right. Hail, Gary. Hail, Friday Night Tights. Hail, Chris Gore. Hail, Chris Gore. Thanks for coming on.
Hail,
right,
Santa.
Hail, Santa. We're going to wrap it up. We're going to wrap it up because I got a video to get to. I will remind me, X-Ray Girl, on the Nooner Monday. I will read these. So save these for the Nooner Monday. Well, you save them anyway, but
I always do.
Read them. We tried to do the square up in the car on the way.
How did that go?
Did not work.
Not well. It would have.
Not well.
Fucking hated it. It was like all the road noise and everything. I need to get a lav mic or something. Because I mean, like you're in a car for 8 to 16 hours. You need to be productive.
Yeah.
You need to be like one of these truckers on YouTube. They have this YouTube video channels about them just trucking, you know. Here's what I thought about today.
Dude, that sounds like a fucking great
cheesecake is actually pie.
I have shower thoughts, and it's like all these random things.
Yeah.
Well, if he's got like a 10-hour drive and he's like, I'm gonna review Ant-Man. Here I go.
9 hours later.
Dude.
You should do, yeah. That should totally be a
For
thing.
one, driving cross country, particularly the Southwest, the beautiful Southwest of this country it's fucking God's country. It's great. It's brilliant. You need to do it. Everybody needs to do it. It's a very weird looking landscape, especially if you're from like that little island in the UK and everything kind of just looks the same. Little
talk about like Nevada, Arizona.
Yep.
Yeah, it really is like that was the plot, literally the plot of a Twilight Zone episode, if you recall. But yeah, it really does look like another planet out there. You get out in the summer, Arizona and the Red Desert, and it's like you're on another planet.
Yeah, it's really freaking cool looking. Yeah, you could like turn off the road and there's petroglyphs like right off the road. It just goes.
Is that a dinosaur?
No, it's old paintings.
Oh,
of what the not really indigenous people saw or thought they saw while they were on peyote or during a giant cataclysm. But I did listen to half of Magician of the Gods, which is a great book by Graham Hancock.
If you go down to South Texas, you'll see the petroglyphs.
Yeah.
And they're pretty good,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
you know, they're all right.
We saw a pretty weak version of Meteor Impact in Odessa, right, Garrett?
Yeah.
I
It
mean,
was kind of
it's
small,
you could
but it was
tell.
still cool.
You could tell it was there, but it's not like the Arizona one, which looks like it just happened yesterday. So
there's something crazy about the idea that this hole was caused by something from like an outer space that hit the Earth. It's like that's kind of weird.
Well, it could have just been a fat guy.
Could have been just a fat guy.
A fat guy from 50.
That would explain the massive skeleton in the middle of it. Yeah.
Hey, we had a meteor hit Texas, South Texas last week. 1,000-pound one,
Really?
but it was reduced to something this. Yeah.
Thank God for our atmosphere.
Did any like slimy thing climb out of it or anything like
Not that we know of. They did find it. Imagine, I would love to find one. Those things are worth bank if you find one.
I thought you meant the slimy thing part.
That would be worth
no, I would.
That would be worth bank.
That would absorb. Well, you wouldn't know because it would absorb my essence. You might be talking to the slimy thing right now. I wouldn't know.
He knows you well.
Yeah.
Alex says, "Yeah, I watched the
Right,
card.
we need
It was great."
samples of all of our blood so we can test it.
Well, it actually did what at the beginning of Men in Black. It just skinned me. That's all.
Ugh.
It's a Gary suit.
Well, hey, it could be like the Blob, right? Remember that?
Right?
Movie?
Yeah.
I love both versions of that movie. I freaking love the Blob.
I was thinking, do you think there's any chance they might try and remake that these days? Or do you think they'd see that as unviable, like a Blob movie?
No, I think you just make the Blob a little faster and just dial.
No, first
the
of all,
gore
it
is
would
pretty
be shit,
bad.
Gary. It would be
Just as
terrible.
slow.
But what I'm saying is, like, do you think they'd be like a Blob? It's like a horror movie about a big.
I'd try
blob,
it.
Like,
If I was, I would try.
Oh, yeah, I'd love
absolutely.
to see it, especially
Yes.
with like. To be honest with you, Peter Jackson might be a good guy to grab. for
Yes.
that. No.
Dude, he would do perfect. His earlier films were all horror
Dude,
like that. It was
off the
perfect.
hook. Weird.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You
And
could
I say
make,
you don't speed it up at all. You keep it
And
slow.
then he did the Frighteners, which I freaking love.
I love that movie. You see my little layered joke I put in there about the
Yes,
Frighteners?
I did.
It ghosted
Well
him.
Well,
I was gonna say the porn parody would be the Bloob.
the blue, or the splooge.
Splooge.
Yeah.
So thanks, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna get out of here. Thank you for watching the Nooner. Watch Chris Gore in about an hour. I think is 4 p.m. Eastern. No, it's probably starting right about now.
right
so
now.
you can just go right over there and get more Chris Gore. Mahler, what do you got coming up?
Mando EFAP TV will start up soon enough. Fringy's going to be editing those ones. I'm editing the Last of Us ones, and then, the next thing EFAP's covering is Atomic Heart, which, funny enough, it already feels like everything's moving past so quickly because we've got so many new things coming out already.
Can I get a quick yes or no on that game?
I don't know. It's tough.
It's that just happened out of 10.
Yeah, a great way to summarize
All right,
it.
all right.
Best way to describe it is bootleg BioShock.
Okay, that's what I kind of thought.
Wait, BioShock Infinite?
Oh,
That's like a bootleg.
Yeah, it is.
BioShock.
Bootleg original, but I will say the mechanics are far more interesting than Infinite. I will be nice to
Oh
Atomic
yeah,
Heart on that
Infinite is
level.
lame as fuck.
Infinite suck. So yeah, it's hard to recommend Atomic Heart. I don't know.
I will say it is on Game Pass. So if you have Game Pass, there it
Oh,
is.
you
Go
can try
pick
it
it up.
out. Yeah.
So go download it.
Crispy critters.
All right, looking forward to it. Rags, what do you got coming up?
Because of how things are currently, I don't want to promise. I just cannot promise timelines. But I have decided on a next project. I've been leaving secret messages throughout this live stream, and if you can find all of the clues and then combine them, then you could decipher the secret message, and that will be what my next project is. But that's all I'll say. Also, all that was a lie. Don't actually do that. Don't waste your life.
No, I want you to parse through this entire live stream.
Watch it through multiple times.
This is
Gonna
like
get the
a
science team on it.
Taylor Swift post about her new album.
But I
I'm
have
gonna
decided
have
on something, and I think it will be very fun to cover.
Excellent. What do you got coming up, Quarter Black?
Tonight I'm playing Hitman on my Rumble channel.
Nice.
Playing some Hitman.
Sweet.
Oh, what about you? X-Ray Girl.
Ooh,
X-Ray Girl.
I'm gonna probably play Hogwarts Legacy, continuing my
Nice.
evil run. Except when I see animals, then I just go super girly and
Wow, spineless.
oh my
coward.
Wow, dedication.
I mean, Dr. Evil had his cat, you know. Evil people can love animals.
No.
No. Can I Avada Kedavra the little baby animals?
I tried
No, it doesn't work.
to Crucio them and didn't work. But I did use
Wow.
Pulso and Flipendo, and the poor little moon calf was just like flying everywhere. And I'm like, I'm so sorry.
That's my least favorite part of that game is the animal stuff.
Yeah. Oh, that's one of my favorite
Well,
parts.
especially the
I gotta
painting.
feed him and.
I'm the only guy who's found the painting of the guy having sex with a bull.
I don't.
Nice.
Yeah.
That was weird.
That's
Very
why the
weird.
third floor corridor was off
Yeah, are you
limits.
sure you were playing Hogwarts Legacy?
And then I have Poor Choices tonight with Tugs. So find that on
Excellent. Like Rags, I have decided on a next project. It's going to be a Perry Chan joint.
Ooh.
We'll be working on that over the next couple, 3-4 days, and he'll be done when he's done. And then who knows? Hollywood will do something stupid today, tomorrow. Already missed it. Not sure. But yeah. And I'll probably go back to Thursday morning and do a live Picard chat. I missed the last couple because I was busy.
Live Picard reaction.
Live Picard reaction. Everything's an absolute triumph.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bro, that just happened.
Wow.
I didn't know you could do that.
Oh, Forbidden Frontier, our paranormal show, Sunday returns, 5 p.m.
Sunday.
And next month, we get to cover Skinwalker Ranch because that comes back.
Yeah.
We're going to dive back into ancient.
I thought it was a salad dressing for a second. We're gonna I was like, what? You're gonna cover?
Dude,
what?
that needs to be a salad dressing.
What is
Skinwalker
this?
Ranch.
That's gross. Oh my god.
That sounds really gross.
You want to be a
so good.
You over here at Applebee's covering Skinwalker Ranch.
Would you like a Skinwalker Ranch with your salad?
Much like Hollywood, we've replaced another ginger.
That's a win right there. Well played, sir. And we'll end it there. And we'll see you Friday Night Tights. Who do we got?
Disparu.
Oh, hey, I know him.
Another limey coming on. That's good. Shad's been making friends lately, so I can't wait till he's on.
Uh-oh.
Wait, what is he doing now?
Is it because of his AI stuff?
Yeah, I love.
All right, I don't know. People are really mad at AI.
Don't be mad at Shad. Shad is like one of the sweetest people alive. Yeah. So I'm sure I'm missing something, but Meta PCs in the link.
Geek Grind.
Coffee.
Wow.
Geek Grind.
Geek Grind. That's what we'll end. We'll end with the Geek Grind commercial. And we'll see you all very soon. Please support our friend Chris Gore. Go over to Film Threat, watch him, and support all these fine channels here. Yeah. Thanks for coming on, Rags and Mahler, for a cameo. That was fun.
Yeah, that was awesome.
No problem.
Anytime.
Awesome. And
hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
I had to find.
I got it.
You got it. Go.
See you guys later.
Bye.
God damn, Gary. Some serious gourmet shit. What flavor is this?
That's right, it's the all-hell medium roast private blend. Check out the Geek Grind Coffee Nerdrotic page for our other options like the Decadent, Feathers of Liberty, vanilla-infused flavored coffee. Or if you're looking for something darker, try the Dark Roast FNT blend of the Fellowship. You know what? Just buy all three. GeekGrindCoffee.com. Use discount code Nerdrotic. Huzzah!